It is May 22nd. That means summer is coming to North Florida. You see Tampa right there where it is equally hot next door in Plant City. That's right, not just in the Plant City Event Center for the boxing that's about to take place tonight, but the 140-pound division where two fighters are looking to enter the rarefied air of contendership. But we start out, that's right, with Charles Harris Jr. What were you doing when he was 16? He was making his pro debut. But can he improve his professional record against the man strength of Kyle Irwin at 27 years old? That's the question. Our co-main event, Jonathan Cardoza versus Adam Lopez. Cardoza, a knockout machine, big for the weight class at 147, but Adam Lopez has taken on the better talent. He has more experience. He talks about control, about chess, not checkers tonight. And in our main event, Batyrzhan Jukembayev, the southpaw with the tricky Soviet style. He is technical, he is calm, he is composed, but his opponent, Ivan Redkach, comes in with the power advantage. Can he open it up and make it a brawl tonight? Welcome to the ProBox TV Event Center. Jimmy Smith, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi. Well, we have our fight smocks, right? Courtesy of my man Chris Algieri to keep us from getting sprayed in blood. Chris, when you got us these, I know you were thinking about the co-main event tonight. You said something interesting. You said it's going to be long, but it's going to be brutal. Explain that to the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, we have a classic matchup of boxer versus puncher. Adam Lopez, great jab, bit in there with elite level competition, more rounds, more experience. But then you got Jonathan Cardoza, man. The kid can punch. He's big for the weight class. He's tall. He's long. Very interesting clash of styles. You've got the experience versus the natural talent. I mean, for me, this has a show stealer written all over it.
Yeah, could be fight of the night, but the main event, you had a great point, Paulie, talking about this. You talked about Jukembayev's style. Southpaw with a great jab, winky right, very hard to get in on him, but Redkach has the power advantage, has been in with some great guys. He might open this fight up and make it more interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, the southpaw versus southpaw matchup always gets a bit interesting, but also Jukembayev has been a guy who's been sort of an enigma. We've seen he's the goods, and we don't know how much he's the goods yet because he does just enough to win the rounds, and he doesn't really wow you. So you're thinking, is there a guy that can make this guy open up and prove to us if he's the goods or if he's just on the average? We'll see if Redkach can be that guy. He's a little older, but he's got the experience. He's been in with a lot of big names, and he can punch a little bit.
Not to mention, you mentioned he's a little bit older. I mean, this is kind of a last chance opportunity for Redkach. You know, one guy's trying to step into the upper elite, the other guy's trying to step back into it, and this could be his last chance. ProBox TV, exactly.
Well, another thing, the 140-pound division, incredibly challenging right now. Great division, full of great names. The winner of this fight wants to leap up into that contender ring. Chris, you talked about it. The winner of this fight might get that call to be an opponent against one of the great guys at 140, which is red hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, people know that ProBox TV is a platform that jumped to the next level, and these guys are just below elite. They're looking to they're knocking on that door. Redkach has already been there. Jukembayev wants to be there, so this is a great opportunity for both these men.
Well, we appreciate Chris. We appreciate the smocks. We appreciate the ability to get sprayed in blood, but not get it all over our clothing. Last question for you, Paulie. Do you agree that that co-main event doesn't go the distance, or is this covered in blood because of a knockout?
I can see a stoppage in that co-main event, man. But either way, it's going to be a rough fight because both guys go for it.
And they're both aggressive. They both attack. But once again, when you talk to Lopez about his strategy tonight, he doesn't talk about knockouts. He doesn't talk about power punches. He talks about controlling the action.
But he's also the kind of guy who opens up when a guy really brings it to him. We saw that at the Valdez fight, you know, and Cardoza really brings it. And so your natural instincts sort of start coming back when you have a guy like that in front of you.
I said Lopez is a boxer, but he never shies away from a firefight.
Yeah, he does.
Especially if you bring him one.
Yeah.
Especially he does not. But when we start out, that's right, here at the ProBox TV Event Center, it's about the young bucks. We look at 20-year-old Charles Harris Jr. looking to improve his record. Look at the reach advantage over Kyle Irwin, just beginning his pro career at 27 years old. Can he make it a mature fight? That's going to be the key. We'll see if he can get it done. Let's go inside the ring and check it out ourselves. Jim will take it away. Get us started.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the live event broadcast here on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. We're going to get things started on our broadcast with a 6-round fight in the super lightweight division. Your judges for this fight, Shami Shipman, Brian Gary, and William Glover. And the third man in the ring this evening is your referee, Christopher Young. Both fighters tonight join us from the Golden State, California. Let's get started with the blue corner. wearing the maroon and gold trunks, weighing in at 141.8 pounds. His record, 7 wins, just 1 loss with 3 wins by knockout. From Oceanside, California, give a bit of Florida welcome to Kyle Cobra Irwin. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black and white trunks. He weighed in at 141.6 pounds. His record, 8 wins, just 1 loss with 7 big wins by knockout. From San Bernardino, California, make some noise for Charles Lolo Harris.
Okay, Jimmy, listen. Everything right here is still legal. I consider everything here legal right here. Okay, Jimmy, you should instructions in the dressing room. Expect tough, clean fight. Give my commands all the time. Protect yourselves all the time. Touch them up.
Ready to get started. Round number 1. Charles Lolo Harris Jr. taking on Kyle Irwin. Both men inside their first 10 fights. That means a big learning curve tonight at ProBox TV.
All right. Red corner, you ready? Blue corner, you ready? Bam!
And we are underway. Start round number 1. We look for the pedigree. You're looking at Harris Jr. in the black and white. This guy had an extensive amateur background. His father brought him in, started pro at age 16. That early start, he definitely has the round so far.
Yeah, I mean, I got to watch him with his tape. He looks very, very sharp, very athletic, well-schooled, good fundamentals. Quick hands. You see that nice quick check hook he just threw while taking a half step back. And you got Irwin, man. Look at him. He's built strong. He looks physical in there. You mentioned he's 27 years old to 20 years old for Harris Jr., so big age discrepancy there. You're going to try and impose that man strength, just like you said at the top, Jimmy.
Yeah, Paul, you know, we talk about all the time man strength. You don't get that to really till your mid-20s. Sometimes your late 20s, we can really sit on a punch, right?
Yeah, but you know what? You got that youth energy even when you're in your early 20s. You don't have that quite to have that man strength, but you have that energy. You have that natural speed. Sometimes it's just a little bit hard to control it, but you can see he's a little bit of a veteran, even having turned pro at 16 years old, being already here at 20 years old. And as you said, you know, his father really got him started early.
And 5 first fights in Mexico. No surprise there, starting that young. Went down to Tijuana to begin his pro career.
Not an easy tonight, though.
No.
Kyle Irwin is a tough out for any young fighter. And then listen, if you're going to be on ProBox TV air in your first 10 fights, you know, there's no walkovers here.
That left hook, you pointed it out, champ. Very, very quick with it. Trying to check already the aggression of Irwin.
Yeah, he shoots that nice off the jab. It's very, very smooth, that shoulder. It's athletic movement, hard to see, hides it, makes it look like a jab, and then boom, whips it around to a hook.
Yeah, and sometimes Irwin falls in on his front foot a little bit, and it gives Harris that chance to use that check hook, which he seems to be liking.
Oh, nice feint there from Irwin, but still stayed in range and got popped with a jab.
One of the things you look for early in someone's career, how well do they stay behind the jab? So far, Lolo doing a good job keeping that stick in the face of Irwin.
See Irwin trying to come over the top of that right hand. That's the second time he did that tonight. Hasn't landed it yet, but he has a game plan against a taller man, and that's a smart move.
It seems like Irwin is about 6 inches too far sometimes, you know, maybe even 3-4 inches too far. Seems like Harris, see again, just out of range is Harris.
Yeah, but Irwin's got the right idea for, you know, fighting a taller man. He's jabbing with him. He's trying to counter over the overextension shots, working the body, working his way upstairs.
Got his way in there, just Harris was a little bit alert.
Gentlemen, with a fighter who's getting their career started, you want to see that they have a plan. They can't always follow the plan perfectly, but you want to see that he has a plan. Irwin at least has a plan to deal with the range.
Well, you know, both guys coming in with that 7-1 record, 8-1 record. You know, here on ProBox TV, we don't just bring you prospects who build up their records. These guys came into this fight knowing they know how to fight and also knowing that their opponent knew how to fight. That's why you're here on ProBox TV.
For him. Hold it right there for him. Hey, relax. Right. You're fighting from way too far out. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't benefit you. Right. You got to get more. You got to take away the space before you start throwing your shots. Right. You're fighting from too far out. Pay attention. Yeah. Pay attention. You're fighting from too far out. So you can counter. That's what you best at.
All right? Give me 2 off the, give me a double jab, and then work off the double jab, all right? Once you start jabbing.
Eastern Europe has become the center of the boxing universe tonight. It is Kazakhstan versus Ukraine. Jukembayev versus Redkach in our main event at 140 pounds. We are expecting fireworks and technique in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. High-level stuff. These are guys, and these are the kinds of fighters that we've been topping our cards with recently. We've stepped up the level of the fighters we have in our main event, and tonight is no different.
Speaking of competitive fights, that's what we're starting out here. Charles Harris Jr. 8-1 versus Kyle Irwin 7-1. Both fighters fighting out of California.
You see Irwin trying to make a concerted effort to start the round a little bit more aggressive. He got in there right away, trying to throw those punches from a little bit of a closer range so that he can at least touch something, even if he's not landing clean.
Well, champ, exactly to your point. Now, the corner said to him, you're fighting from too far away, and it seems like Irwin is listening to his corner and closing that distance before he rushes in.
Having trouble so far overcoming the reach advantage, the long jab of Charles Harris Jr.
Yeah, that's where Harris has to be credited. You know, he understands. Irwin steps in. He steps in just a little far back. You know, he's at the string of that range.
And Jimmy, it's also the speed and the awareness of Harris Jr. He's very good at changing that distance, just like you said, champ, taking that half step out. But he's very athletic. He'll pop up, jump back. You know, even when his hand's out and out, he's getting out of the way. He's very good awareness and distance control.
Yeah, 2019 Youth National Amateur Champion. Does have that amateur pedigree, and you see it in his fundamentals in this opening round.
Jimmy, you said you when you're a young fighter, you want to see a guy with a game plan and see them try to execute it. I like a guy who sticks to his jab. Whether that's the game plan or not, he's always going back to that. And I see that in Harris Jr.
Also very sharp with that left hook.
Yeah, really, a fight's really emotionless. You know, sometimes at a younger age, you can sort of get caught in. Like, see here, right? We get stuck right on the corner, but slips those punches very calmly and doesn't look to return fire right away. Looks to find the right place in the ring to where he's going to dictate the space and dictate how the exchange is going to go.
That was right on cue for your point, champ. As soon as you mentioned it, he looked very calm, dodging those shots. Oh, good jab there. Hard jab from Irwin. Pops the head back of Harris Jr.
And Irwin now finding his range just a bit. Able to keep this fight a little bit inside. Wasn't able to do that in round number 1 at all.
Yeah, Irwin, as soon as he gets in, he's trying to take advantage. Good combination there by Harris. Good variation. He mixed the jab with the right hand and the hook with the right hand as well.
Those are get-off-me punches, right, gentlemen? Guy gets a little aggressive and get off me. Throws a couple of hard shots.
Yeah. And that jab is still pumping very nicely. Good snap. Irwin's still in his face, though. He's not undaunted.
Yeah, because he's hanging out in that no man's land for the shorter man, in that middle distance where he's still in range to get hit. He's not getting past that critical distance line where he's actually able to land, but his opponent who's longer can.
Yeah, and I think he's got to do that. He's got to jab with the jabber. You can't let Harris out jab you. He's going to continue to control that range.
Another thing, Irwin runs ultra marathons. That's how he stays in shape. So he has faith in his gas. He believes he can win a long fight. Not worry about starting too quickly, huh?
Not a lot of time in this fight. I mean, it's only a 6-rounder. Ultra marathons are
a lot longer.
A couple hours.
Couple days, depending on. Lolo still looking good in round number 2.
Yeah, I like that hook right-hand combination from Harris Jr. I saw that on his tape, and he's been flying, letting that fly here in the first 2 rounds.
Boom, boom, 2 and 3 punch combination. Under, hook, step up, step off. All right? Off a good jab combination, okay? Stay off the fucking ropes. Okay? That's the only way he's doing good. If you want no fucking
Harris Jr. in the corner. Chris, it looks like he just got out of bed, champ.
I mean, stone cold. It says coldness on the back of his trunks, and you're seeing it. His stone cold demeanor for even a young man. I mean, for such a young man, that's very impressive.
20 years old and not even breathing hard.
Well, Jimmy, you did say he's a national champion, right? As an amateur, turned pro at 16, national U.S. youth champion. You know, so he's got confidence because he knows he has the pedigree. So, but Irwin's not going away. Let's see how he starts this round. Start of the last round very fast. Let's see if he tries that again now.
Wally, what's your thought on starting your career, 16, 17 years old, and have that, that amateur background? It seems like a couple more years, maybe you really get some.
I used to think it was a little bit. I used to look think it was a little bit soon, but at this point, they removed the headgears from the amateurs as well. So you started to see guys turn pro a little sooner.
Taking the shots anyway, might as well get paid, right?
Yeah, especially that when you go no headgear and that level of opposition is very high in those kind of fights.
Beautiful, sharp counter over the top from Harris Jr. And also, Jim, like if you're already junior national champion, like, yeah, just you want to go pro, you're gonna go pro. I have no problem with it. I mean, Mexican fighters have been doing it forever, so you see those guys always turning pro 16, 17 years old.
Irwin started his career in Mexico as well. She's been through the fire down south.
Yeah, I mean, I used to feel like that your for good counter uppercut there by Harris. I used to feel like your first fights against men should still be in the amateurs, just so you kind of get a feel for it. You don't want to turn pro and be dealing with men for the first time. But like I said, once they removed the headgears from the amateurs, now I was like, okay, it's not going to make a difference now.
Nice digs to the body from Harris Jr. Coming with a right-left combination. Right landed very solidly, left just missed.
And I feel like Irwin is overthinking too much, looking for a big shot. Even when he's throwing jabs, he's throwing them way too hard. You got to jab with the jabber, but you got to let it flow. And now it's almost like he's stopped jabbing, but even when he does, you see he overshoots it, he throws a little bit too hard. Now he's being outsmarted, and part of being outboxed is when you're outsmarted. And there's, again, just out of range, Harris shoots that counter, just missed, but good hook there by Irwin, though.
Harris, though, he's also picking up on the speed. He's flashing those fast hands, and it seems like Irwin doesn't have an answer for that yet. There's that hook right-hand combination and another right hand over the top.
Yeah, but the composure of Harris Jr., even in medium range where he can be hit, he doesn't seem to overreact to any one shot. He's got confidence in his ability to read the punches.
And good balance, too. He doesn't get his feet out of sorts. He's staying in good position to throw those counter shots. That's why he's able to land shots like that one.
Beautiful uppercut counter from Lolo.
And again, that was Irwin falling in on that front foot. I mentioned that in the first round. He has a little bit of a habit of doing that.
Harris Jr. then threw the right hand over the top, a little bit chopping right hand, hit the temple of Irwin. Rocked him for a moment, but he came right back.
Now, Irwin's corner saying his corner saying keep him in the corner, keep him against the ropes, and just so far hasn't had the footwork to do that.
I mean, you have to have the variation on your shots too. He throws a little bit too hard every single time. It's almost like he's trying to get ahead of himself. He's getting frustrated that he can't touch Harris. He's trying a little bit too hard, and it's allowing Harris to see everything.
Anyway, Chip, he's working so hard to close that distance. Once he gets there, the frustration is starting to show in his punches.
Yeah, there's no jab. And when he throws, and when he does throw a jab every once in a while, he throws it way too hard.
Watch for that right uppercut from Harris Jr., man. He's starting to find the timing on it.
So far, a clinic from Charles Harris Jr. 8-1 as a pro, 7 knockouts. And here's why he has the knockout percentage he does. Punches like this, champ.
Yeah, that was a beautiful sharp chopping right hand over the top early on.
And you see you guys splitting the gloves there with the right hand, and then that forces Irwin to get out of position. There's a little counter uppercut as well. And underrated there to stay with the uppercut, because Irwin missed and tried to pull him down with the other hand, but he still managed to come up showing the little physical strength. You're talking about man strength. Showing a little physical strength, he still came up with that and managed to rip the uppercut, despite the fact that Irwin overshot the right hand and was leaning on him.
That uppercut was a classy counter. That was a good one to pull off. That was impressive.
When you're calm, right? See everything, you can react to everything.
He's obviously in fantastic shape. He's not breathing hard at all in the corner.
It's weird how you have so much more energy when you're winning.
Yeah, right. When you're ahead, yeah.
Well, he's also been so much control. He's not burning energy. Irwin is trying to sometimes, over push, and getting all riled up, and he can't get in there. So it's almost like Irwin is working harder, but having less success than his Harris. Also, Charles Harris Jr., when it comes to the times he has hurt Irwin or caught him off balance, hasn't gone crazy to try to finish, just resets and goes back to it. Yeah, like right there, nice shots. Stays with the point. Irwin in round number 4 has just not found a way inside to make his man strength at 27 the difference. The difference in this fight, I think, has been the boxing IQ, really. Irwin's not a bad fighter. It's just Harris is a little too smart and seems to be one step ahead of him every single time with the adjustments and the ring control.
A few moments ago, we saw the actual physical strength of Harris Jr. We talked about the man strength, but he was able to overpower Irwin on the inside. Trying to do it again, this time in the corner, right in front of us. And he did it again there, too. He's using his hands to maneuver Irwin around and not get hit with anything flush.
And again, you see Irwin overshooting, throwing too hard, and it allows Harris to see everything.
4 rounds through a 6-round fight, and Irwin selling out a little bit more in this round number 4.
Oh, sick body shot with the right hand down low.
Still beautiful combinations from Charles Harris Jr., young man from San Bernardino, California, 8-1 as a pro, 7 knockouts.
This kid is good, man.
Yes, he's picking it up now. Running the numbers on the inside. Irwin is hanging out in that no man's land, that middle distance, and Harris Jr. is just picking his spots.
And I tell you, you see he's got 1 loss. That part of that is probably turning pro at 16.
Yes.
You know, this kid is classy with his style, man. This kid is good, man. We have a lot of good prospects here, but this kid is good, man.
And also, nothing will make you focus like that 1 loss. Nothing will make you go back to the gym harder than that 1 loss.
Well, again, you see, he's a national youth champion, but he already got beat early in his pro career. Part of the reason why I didn't always like guys starting to fight men when they turn pro.
Nice hook over the top.
That was just a perfectly timed shot. It was a little looping right hand as Irwin again rushed in. It caught him off balance, knocked him over to the side.
Oh, back to the body. Beautiful counter right hand.
Nice roll and shoot from Harris Jr. Beautiful shot. Irwin's tough, man. That was a hard shot.
Yeah, he walked right into it.
And the uppercut.
Irwin's nodding to him saying, let's go, but Harris will not be suckered into a fight he doesn't need.
And Harris is staying poised. He's looking for the opportunities, staying defensively sound. Very, very smart stuff here.
Throughout the fight, he has just hit the reset button. Whenever he has had Irwin hurt, throws some punches, resets, goes right back to work. A lot of maturity from this young man at 20 years old.
10 seconds, gentlemen.
I think it's smart of Harris Jr. not to jump on him. You know, he's got a guy, he's still strong, he's still throwing shots. He recovered well from that shot, but he's falling apart round by round.
See the timing here on this shot. Look at that roll counter right hand. And you see it stumbles. There it is again. Nice roll counter. See, he holds his position with his feet so that he gets weight on the shot. He didn't move his feet. You notice sometimes your defense is to use your feet. Sometimes your defense is to hold your ground. There's both Terence Crawford and Daniel Yelusinov.
Speaking of greats, right? Got a couple of them in the house tonight.
Yeah, Terence Crawford, a pound for pound, number 1 or 2 in the world, really.
Yep.
And Daniel Yelusinov is an Olympic gold medalist in the 2016 Olympics. One of the better prospects in boxing, but it's had some issues with the politics of boxing, shall we say.
And for the record, Bomac, the trainer of Terence Crawford, is in the corner of Harris Jr., so makes sense that
I can see a little bit here. I can see like a poor man's Crawford in Harris a little bit. He's very, very calm, the way he picks his shot, the way he approaches the round.
Put it that way. Early Crawford, maybe.
I don't care. You can criticize me if you guys want at home, man. This kid is like...
He is excellent.
A baby Crawford in the manner of which he's picking his shots, smoothness of the way they come out.
But when you see a great young fighter, gentlemen, what do you see? You see flashes of greatness. You see, man, he can really do certain things very, very well. And we're seeing that tonight from Charles Harris Jr. for sure.
Yeah, and in the very least, he's trying to maybe be a copycat of Crawford. You know, that's the example in his gym. That's the example in his stable.
That's not a bad example to follow.
So even if he's a poor man's Crawford at this point, let's say, you know, the best guy in your gym, sometimes you use him as an example. You know, he sets the standard. You can see there's a lot of respect for Crawford in the style of Harris because you could sort of see his approach is similar.
I think every young fighter, when they're in a gym, they look at the top dog, they look at the alpha guy in the gym, they go, all right, I want to be a little bit like that. I want to take a piece of that. And as your career progresses, you take a little bit from each fighter and create your own style.
Nice right hand. You cannot question, by the way, the toughness, the chin of Kyle Irwin so far in this fight. He's taking some big shots. Hasn't gone down, hasn't taken any, been in the face of Harris Jr. from the beginning.
And the conditioning. Jimmy, you spoke to him being an ultra-marathon runner, and obviously he's in fantastic condition. He looks physically strong. And to take shots the way that he's taken, you got to be in shape.
Yeah. Especially that counter right hand last round, man. I mean, you walk right into it.
That thing was a thing of beauty, and it was so short, champ. Most guys will overthrow that shot, or they'll let it get a little bit
not
fat.
Easy to keep it. Not easy to keep it short in that situation, and you only have a split second to throw it.
Super technical shot. High boxing IQ combined with great technique and fundamentals.
Gentlemen, you talk about the style of Bud Crawford they may have absorbed in the gym, but the way he's approaching it, very cerebral, much like a Terence Crawford. Just the mentality like Terence Crawford.
Yeah, absolutely, especially at 20 years old. You got a guy in front of you who's no cupcake. You got a guy who's coming forward, he's strong, he's trying to make it physical, but you're just outclassing him every step, every round after round. Woo! Good pull back on that. Makes Irwin miss and fall off balance once again.
See that? He parried with the right hand and then a little right hook around it.
Oh, good timing on that shot. Irwin comes back with the left hook over the top.
When Irwin has had success, it's been in these positions where Harris Jr. hasn't had room to move against the ropes. It's called a collar tie for people who wrestle. Nice right hand over the top.
And if I'm going to be critical, which is hard to do because Harris Jr. is looking great, I would like a little more consistent work to the body. Because you got a guy like Irwin, obviously he's taking the shots to the head well. He's in good shape. Touch that body, man. You've got opportunities to do it.
Yeah, Irwin is trying to make it as rough as possible now.
What else has he got?
Yeah, and of course, you know, winning mentality. He came in this fight with 7-1 record himself. He's not just going to hand it to you. He's having himself a decent round.
Yeah, it's been the best round so far. Best sequence he's had the last minute and a half. Problem is, you got to be in range for that power and speed.
Three jalones, three, two, one more. Good. Listen, the fight is very simple, you saw. Stay close to him. Did he hurt you that round? Okay, well, stay fucking close to him. And work, mijo. I need you to step up, okay? This man does not want to fight. He's going to wrap you up. When he wraps you up, hit him in the inside.
Last round. Touch him up, last round.
It has Show Stealer all over it. Our co-main event is coming up next. Jonathan Cardoza versus Adam Lopez. It's the old story. The fighter with the flashy record, 16-1, 15 knockouts, versus the 17-5 fighter who's taken on the better talent. They're now in the final round of Charles Harris Jr. versus Kyle Irwin. It has been a clinic from Charles Harris Jr. in the black and white. Nicknamed Lolo, his opponent, Kyle Irwin, has not given up. He is not mentally checked out of this fight. He's in it to win it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jimmy, but entertaining enough because Kyle Irwin is putting on a very good performance for what he's got. He just has got someone in front of him that is ultra talented. Irwin's the kind of guy I feel like we're going to see in our era again because he's given a good show of himself. Ooh, speaking of it. Oh! Big right hand counter from Harris Jr. Back comes Kyle Irwin.
That uppercut for Harris Jr. has been here all night. As Irwin tries to bull his way in. It's been waiting for him.
Seems like Irwin understands that he's out of time. He's down. He's got to make something happen here. Oh, good body shot there from Harris Jr. Nice left hook dig behind the elbow.
I think he heard you again, champ.
He's learning quick.
It's a quick study. Talented amateur, now 20 years old, turned pro at 16.
Irwin's still throwing hard. We talked about that conditioning. He definitely came in shape. He came here to win.
Looking for that counter uppercut again. Just missed it.
And still maintaining very good technique, keeping that punch tight. No fat on these punches, even here in the 6th round.
Yeah, not letting his emotions get the best of him, even while Irwin is going for broke with the pressure. Not falling for it is Harris.
And his footwork off the ropes, out of the corner, has been exceptional.
You see in that measurement right there. Second, a good right hand to the stomach there by Irwin. Irwin also cutting off the ring nicely.
Yeah, Irwin's had a good last 2 rounds. Enough to win the rounds, that's not for me to say, but he's definitely putting in some more work these last 2 rounds.
But Emmanuel Stewart called them comparison rounds. He said sometimes judges give it to you because you're doing better, not because you win necessarily. It is possible he's won the last 2 rounds.
You know, Jimmy, a few moments ago you mentioned the footwork of Harris Jr. It's very efficient. It's just enough. He just if things get a little bit hot, he takes a half step, moves around the ring a little bit, stops, looks for more counters, sets that critical distance line once again, and waits for Irwin to cross.
Paulie, like his feet in his head, he doesn't over move. He moves just enough. Yeah.
Very efficient. He uses that lead hand, snapping jab, measurement with the lead hand. Also, you see the subtle level changes. He'll bend his knees, and then of course he'll use his legs and change range as well.
Now, I always say this, I sound like a broken record. When you see these guys with the tons of amateur experience, you see the eyes. I always see that right away, their vision, their ability to see things, their ability to keep their eyes on their opponent. We're seeing great great eyesight and vision from Harris Jr. here.
But great maturity, a man who had knocked out 7 of 8 opponents, willing to go the distance. A nice slow burn fight. Very mature performance from Charles Harris Jr. But Kyle Irwin, tough as nails. He'll be here again at ProBox TV.
Call me crazy. I like when these young guys get rounds. And knockouts are great, but getting rounds with a seasoned,
especially with quality,
solid guy like Irwin, I think that's going to really pay off down the line.
And also, you talk about the eyes, champ. I think a lot of that is also to do with the understanding, because you have the experience, the understanding that you can read what the guy's going to do before he does it. And you have these wide open eyes because you're kind of reading body language in a lot of ways. You see in the highlights now
because
of the fight.
Guys like that with that kind of awareness, they're looking at the top of the head and bottom of your feet at the same time. They're seeing every tell, every twitch in the shoulder, every movement of the glove, every pull that you have.
And the experience is solid because defense is, sort of, some of it is reactions and technique, but it's also anticipation, especially if you're going to counter like right there with the right hand, as Harris did beautifully during this fight. There's another counter with a solid uppercut underneath that lunging right hand of Irwin.
And you mentioned anticipation, champ. That's something you always talk about, is being able to create openings. And it seemed like Harris Jr. was good at that tonight because he had the jab. He set that line in the sand where Irwin had the cross and he was able to counter.
Outside of a flurry, I think it was round number 4. What we're not seeing in any of these highlights, he never went crazy and went, okay, it's a finish. I got this guy. It was methodical. It was smart.
Yeah, very, very calm and collected.
Well, even though he hurt Irwin, I don't know if he had him in any kind of terrible trouble where he should really jump on him.
Ultra marathons, the guy's in shape. Not getting rid of him that easily.
And he could fight.
Yeah.
Tough fight from both men. Let's see how the judges saw it. Jim Sorensen will make it official for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for these two warriors. After 6 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge William Glover scores this fight 58-56. Judges Shami Shipman and Brian Gary both score this bout 59-55 for your winner. By unanimous decision, Charles Lolo Harris!
So, Chris, you were right. A couple rounds did go to Irwin. Probably the last 2 on one judge's scorecard. Maybe the last one on the other judge.
Yeah, I mean, 2 judges had a 59-55. That seemed right. I could have seen it 60-54, but 58-56 isn't wild to think of, like I said, those last 2 rounds. But again, you mentioned that great point about the comparative rounds.
I was just going to say the comparison rounds went to Irwin on that guy.
Exactly.
Which can be dangerous because, you know what, sometimes the momentum changes in a longer fight, then all of a sudden the other guy is winning rounds, and those comparison rounds cost the guy who should win the fight.
Also, it's only a 6-round fight. 3 comparison rounds, so we got to, make a draw.
Because Harris, I thought Harris was clearly the better fighter.
I mean, he clearly won. I mean, I think 59-55, and like I said, I could even see 60-54.
Yep.
Gentlemen, the right man won, and in boxing,
we count our blessings.
We'll take it. We'll count our blessings. Great stuff, though, from Charles Harris Jr. He moves to 9-1 in front of this man, Terrence Bud Crawford, stablemate of Charles Harris Jr. You saw that cerebral approach. You saw the technique, certainly emulating this man, as a lot of young boxers should. Pound for pound, number 1, number 2, number 3. We can have the debate, which we do often, by the way, on ProBox TV. Check it out. We had our pound for pound debate. We settled that argument for you. Figured out who's pound for pound number 1, but Usyk, Crawford, Noya, Inoue definitely rounding out almost everyone's top 3. So have a main event to come tonight. Ivan Redkach backstage with our own Beatrice Callis.
I'm here with Ivan El Terrible Redkach, one of the fighters of the main event of the evening, uno de los pugilistas del evento estelar de esta noche. Ivan, you fought Regis Prograis in 2021 and you lost. Then you retired for 2 years. You came back in 2023 and fought and won. How does it feel to be back in ProBox TV for your first fight in 2024?
I'm very excited for good opportunity, good opponent, and you'll see I show you a great fight.
Él se retiró por 2 años, peleó en el 2023, ganó por vía del knockout en el tercer round y está de vuelta en el 2024 en ProBox TV. Y nos estaba diciendo que nos trae una pelea muy fuerte y que nos va a dar solo un espectáculo. Ivan, you have over 300 amateur fights. Also, you have a great professional record. What would it mean for you a victory tonight in the main event of the evening? ¿Qué significaría para tu carrera boxística una victoria esta noche?
For me, this fight for big step for close to title fight and big opportunity, great bigger fights.
Sería una pelea muy importante ya que me daría la oportunidad de ir por una pelea de título y una oportunidad muy buena para mi carrera. Thank you so much, Ivan. Back to you.
We have our co-main left to come. Jonathan Cardoza, Adam Lopez, about ready to make their walks into the ring. We have our blood smocks ready to go because it's going to be a war between a knockout machine and a fighter who has been in there with the best and wants to get back on top. When we come back, our co-main event, Cardoza, Lopez. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back inside the ProBox TV Event Center. Jimmy Smith alongside Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi, our co-main event about to begin. Hard hitter versus experienced fighter who has taken on the better talents. A story as old as combat sports. You have the numbers, you have the knockouts. I've been in there against the best, and that hunger that you guys know about getting to the top, you want to get back there again. That is, of course, Adam Lopez tonight. The center of the boxing universe has been Eastern Europe for the past couple of years. We talk about that rivalry on ProBox TV.
When this kid is on, he's pretty good. You know, he's got a little bit of flavor to him. You know, it's just, he's almost like an enigma. You don't know what kind of version of a Redkach you're going to get. But maybe with the old former Soviet versus former Soviet, you know, it'll bring out a little bit of a rivalry with each other, and, you know, maybe they'll put up a good fight. Either way, these guys are capable guys. It's just a matter of how is their style going to blend together, and that's what we're really here to see. You know, it's two guys at a fine part of their career as far as Jukembayev trying to make his way up. Redkach seems to be just coming on the way down, but both guys are one good performance away from getting that big shot, and Redkach has already been there in some ways, and Jukembayev seems to be right there each and every time, but so far we've had him back, and we're waiting to see if he can just give us that a little bit more. We'll see if the Redkach fight is the one for him.
These guys are in very different positions of their career. Redkach, this is very much a last chance opportunity. Yeah. He understands where he's at. When you're coming onto ProBox there, when you fought Danny Garcia and you've been there, you know, he's fought John Molina, like he's had some big fights over the years.
If you're on the way back to the ProBox level, then you gotta win.
Especially at the age of 38. Yeah. He's 38 years old. But one thing that never goes away is the power. Last thing to go is the power, and the guy can punch. So can that be the thing that bridges that gap in terms of the age? He also has that experience. And Jukembayev is a guy, he's right there. Like, he's right on the cusp of getting another big fight. You know, he fell short to Subriel Matias. Yeah, he got pushed in that fight. That's Subriel Matias. Exactly.
Late notice fight as well. But he had a long time off before that fight, 16 months.
And he was doing well in that fight.
Yeah, and that shows. That's right there is proof in the pudding. You know, Jukembayev seems to have the goods. It's just like you said, Jimmy, doesn't open up for free. You know what I mean? Yeah. No money, no honey. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
We need you to really give it to us this time around. You know what I mean? Like and show that little bit extra pizzazz in your style that you can win and also be pleasing and also bring out a curiosity in you to say, you know what, I want to see him against some of these bigger guys. He's had the shot with Matias, like the champ said. I want to see him up there again, man. It's a great weight class to really get on a big opportunity against plenty of big names.
Well, it's going to be a tactical and exciting main event. Let's talk about the co-main for a second. We'll talk a little bit about the experience of Adam Lopez, but Jonathan Cardoza. I've had to train with a lot of Brazilians in my line of work. Gentlemen, you know what they bring, Brazilian fighters, every time. It's that aggression, that knockout power. I think that's the factor tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's big. He's tall for the weight class. He cuts a lot of weight. I ran into him the day of the weigh-in. He looked lean. He looked trim. He's tall. He's like my height. It's amazing. He fights at 130 or 132. This fight's at. So he's got that. He's youthful. He's hungry, both making the weight, but also hungry for opportunity, and he can really punch.
That entertainment factor has gotten him here. We're talking about ProBox TV, even fights, but also that entertainment value. That's what's gotten him here. Should he take the edge off that a little bit against a more experienced guy? What's your thought?
I don't know if he knows how to, really. Yeah. I think this is who Cardozo is. Cardozo is a big puncher who was also going to risk himself. In his only loss, he got knocked out in the first round. So he's kamikaze style. He's technical to a degree, but if he gets in a little bit, we talked about Harris last fight, how he doesn't get too excited when he lands a big shot. Cardozo's the opposite way, man. I mean, he likes to throw those big shots. He can set them up very well. He is kind of technical, but at the same time, if he hurts you, he's looking to get you out of there quick, and sometimes he runs into shots himself.
Now, Lopez, not a knockout puncher necessarily, but a slick boxer who does have knockdowns against some excellent fighters. What do you think his key is?
He's got a fantastic jab, especially when he doubles and triples it. When he gets behind that jab, he's a very, very difficult guy to be in the ring with. He's very, very smart. He has a high boxing IQ, fantastic footwork, and he's got sharp punches. He's got good counters, so he drops guys, like you said. Not a finisher, but a very smart boxer.
And he's got Eric Brown in his corner, who I won my second world championship with. So
that doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt.
He is well coached. He is very, very experienced. Well, let's see how the physical attributes match up in this co-main event. Cardoza versus Lopez. Roughly the same age, 25 to 28, but you talked about it, champ. The build of Cardoza, 5'10", both weighed in the same, but he is tall, he is rangy. Can he use those tools tonight? That is the question.
Yeah, 5'10", 73-inch reach. That's a welterweight.
Easy.
Yeah, that's a welterweight.
Seen smaller middleweights. Tim Sorensen. Let's get it started in our co-main event. Smocks on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ProBox TV, your boxing channel. We are about to get started with our co-main event of the evening. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds in the lightweight division. Your judges, Bratton Jackson, Shami Shipman, and Brian Gary. And the third man in the ring is your referee, Michael DeJesus. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start out by introducing the fighter in the blue corner. He wears the gray and blue trunks. He weighed in at 131.4 pounds. His record, 17 wins, 5 losses with 6 wins by knockout. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California, please give it up for Adam Blue Nose Lopez. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He wears the white with blue trunks. He weighed in at 131.4 pounds. His record, 16 wins, just 1 loss with 15 big wins by knockouts. From Guarulhos, Sao Paulo, Brazil, give it up for Jonathan Suarez Maximo Cardoza.
All right, guys, the rules we told you in the locker room. You guys know what I expect. Trunks here is good, and this is good. Guys, keep clean fight. Touch those if you want to, knock it back to you.
See that height advantage when they square up. Jonathan Cardoza much, much taller. Will he fight tall tonight? That's the question.
Adam Lopez fought Abraham Nova, another guy who is very tall and long and can punch, and he had a lot of trouble dealing with Nova's power that night.
Got dropped early in that fight, but finished strong, never mentally out of the fight.
No, and that's the thing about Adam. I mean, aside from his boxing skills and his IQ and footwork, he's tough as nails. He gets hit, he's been hurt, he's been down.
He's one of those guys, as we say in the business, he earned his losses. He had very tough fights against very tough opposition. That first Oscar Valdez fight, they fought twice. That first fight, he was on his way to winning, got knocked down, and then a stoppage. I thought it was a little premature, but a very, very competitive fight.
Yeah,
Oscar Valdez.
I actually called that fight for Top Rank, and he dropped Valdez early on with a left hook, beautiful shot, and he took the fight on short notice. He jumped up one weight class the day before when Valdez's opponent did not make weight. Adam said, "I'll take it,"
and he boxed so well after that knockout.
And he did,
right? And he did. He boxed beautifully.
He almost took the whole thing. He almost won.
Now, he's fought Stephen Fulton early in his career to a majority decision loss. He's fought Oscar Valdez twice. He fought Abraham Nova, who's been streaking it, who just lost a very close world title fight to Oshaki Foster.
And that's really the thinking behind this matchup. Cardoza, big puncher, big, but not as big of a resume. Lopez has the bigger resume.
Lopez, of course, raised in the sport. Strangely enough, his father, an Olympic silver medalist in 1984, also a decorated professional, fought for a world title, but he wasn't raised by his dad. He said, my dad died when I was in my teens, but I've wanted to follow his legacy in boxing.
That's kind of cool, man. You know what else is cool? His father fought in the '84 Olympics, and he's from LA. Yeah, right? So the Olympics in your own home city, and you fight in those Olympics.
Hometown stuff. Greatest boxing team ever assembled by the United States, in my opinion.
Hey, guys, a stiff jab from Jonathan actually rocked Lopez back on his heels.
And that's that power. The South Americans with this weird power, man. I tell you, it's Brazilians, you get Argentines, you get Venezuelans, Colombians. It's so random with this crazy power.
But Cardoza also has the build for it, man. He's got that wiry strength, long legs, long levers that he can generate a tremendous amount of power. Adam is being very smart going down to the body consistently.
In combination, too.
He's been doing that since the opening bell.
And not putting anything behind any one punch, just staying busy, keeping the punches flowing.
And just trying to snap them out. I guess he's trying to also, the thinking behind that is to keep Cardoza busy, because if Cardoza's busy defending, he can't use that big power.
Adam's having trouble with the length of Cardoza. He thinks he's out of range and still getting touched with stiff jabs, even when he lands a good combination.
Cardoza so far, even with his knockout resume, 16 wins, 15 by knockout, he's not starting that fast. Seems to be trying to get his range in round number one. He respects Lopez. You can tell that already.
Well, this is his first 10-rounder, I believe, is for Cardoza. And, he knows he's got the power advantage. He knows he's the bigger man.
He backed Lupo Lopez off with that little combination.
All right, how you feel? Good round, okay? Now, I need you to stay focused. I need you to keep boxing, okay? Don't worry about trying to bite off too much too early. Be effective, be sharp, okay? Keep going, working off that jab, moving it around, stepping with your punch, so you're inside of his reach. Don't.
Apollo 16-1 as a pro, 15 wins by knockout. He's a power puncher, but a judicious first round. Adam Lopez 17-5, but those 5 losses against some of the best. As you said, champ, in weight classes he wasn't quite ready for. He jumped up. He's ready to go. He's a scrapper as we begin round number 2.
Champ, you mentioned the technique of Cardoza, and I kind of forget about his technique and his fundamentals. And we saw that in round 1. He boxed very well. His technique was sharp. He's been in such fun fights, and he scores KOs. You forget that he's actually a fundamental boxer as well.
Nah, he's got good technique. His emotions aren't always in check, and that's where he kind of sometimes gets into those big exchanges, and it gets kind of fun, really.
And I keep calling Adam a boxer, but he gets hit. He likes to trade. He puts, his nickname is Blue Nose. He puts his nose on the line, in these exchanges, even though he's the boxer, not the puncher in the situation.
Says he got that nickname, Blue Nose Pit Bulls. He says, I am dogged in the gym. He used to be trained by Buddy McGirt. He had a falling out with Buddy McGirt and wasn't trained by him anymore. He says, I went to the gym by myself. He said, my current coach, he saw me working out by myself, saw I was dedicated, took me on. That is dedication, gentlemen.
He's a supremely conditioned guy. He's got great footwork. And generally, Champ, you can speak to this too. If you're a boxer, you have to be in condition all the time. It's different. If you're a puncher, you can go into fights and not be in the best condition. But if you're going to be a boxer for 10 rounds, you got to be in fantastic shape.
Oh, good combinations. Has Cardoza up against the ropes.
That's the thing with Cardoza. His defense sometimes is lacking. Technically, offensively sound, but no head movement. Keeps those gloves up. You saw Lopez penetrating the gloves. Good exchanges. Hey, that's what we're talking about, right?
Great slipping and sliding from Lopez there. We got blood from the nose of Cardoza, and our blood smocks are coming out, people.
We told you we'd need them. I already have mine on. Beautiful stuff. Great combinations from Lopez. Cardoza so far, certainly in the fight, but so far his power has not been a factor.
You know, that up jab from Adam Lopez has been a really good weapon, splitting the guard of the taller, more straight-up fighter in Cardoza, and you see the blood from the nose now. Those up jabs will do that.
Yeah, it's splitting the guard there. When you know, that was the thing, Champ. He had his gloves up, but, you know, no head movement on Cardoza. Just keeps those gloves up. This ain't the old amateur system, man. Those pro gloves, they're going to get through.
Yeah, for people at home, you know, the pros fight in 8-ounce gloves at this weight class. They're very, very small. They're like mittens. They're easy to slide in those little gaps in your arms and your defense.
And also, gentlemen, it's one of the disadvantages of being the taller fighter. There's a lot of area to guard, right?
Yeah,
guard
bigger
can't
target.
cover everything.
Bigger target, and that's why it was smart for Adam to go down to the body early. Got that long torso. Good right hand from Cardoza in the inside there. You know, Adam's having some good rounds, but Cardoza's still touching him. He's still landing these shots. And with a guy who can punch like he can, that's very, very dangerous.
Good right hand from Cardoza in the corner. Finishes round number 2. Both fighters with flurries. Lopez fired up, understandably.
Awesome exchanges to end these rounds.
Well, Chris, you said it. He can get drawn into a brawl. We saw a little bit of that.
Well, look at him. He likes being in here. He's slick. He's got those shoulders rolling, but he still gets touched. And that's my point. We're looking at this replay here. He's getting hit by some of these shots. Some of them cleaner than others, but he's comfortable rolling and firing because he wants to hit you as bad as you hit him.
We are so prepared for this fight. This is how prepared we are. Paulie, you've said it before. Heavy-handed means I don't need a perfect punch. And we're seeing some shots that, off the shoulder, but they're still rocking Lopez back just a little bit from Cardoza.
Yeah, and Lopez, honestly, even the credit to him is even if he does get partially hit, he's firing right back too. And this is making for this two-way action that we kind of expected in this kind of fight.
Well, it makes it fun, too, because you're watching those exchanges and you're gritting your teeth because, punches are just missing.
Because anybody could just wind up on the canvas.
Round number 3 of what has been an all-action fight so far. And Chris, got to thank you again for the smocks. They're fantastic. A gift from our own Chris Algieri.
I figured our last 2 shows, we all got poured blood all over us. And we were like,
our boss was like, we're not getting more of these cleaning bills. So start bringing smocks.
Figured $5 smocks are better than my hundreds of dollars of dry cleaning.
That's right. Chris Algieri wears the expensive suits. Ladies and gentlemen.
You see Lopez trying to change levels.
But then he gets clipped.
Got clipped up. Because you got to punch back inside those level changes. You saw Lopez being smart with the level changes on defense. And no firing back. And eventually Cardoza adjusted and landed that hook.
Good adjustments from both men. The first round, I thought Cardoza looked really good at the end of the round. Adam came out. Lopez came out really good in round 2. And now Cardoza's coming out very strong here in round 3. Landed some big right hands and left hooks upstairs.
Yeah, Lopez tried to get in a couple of body shots, then took a couple of shots in return and backed out of that trench.
We were wondering if Cardoza would start strong in rounds 1 and 2. He saved a lot of that energy. Now we're seeing him get busy.
You know, Champ, you mentioned that Cardoza got knocked out in the first round in his 1 loss. Other than that, he's always shown a solid chin with the fighters that he's fought. We've had him on our air a bunch of times. He's fought good competition, always shown a solid chin.
And, sometimes it's just you get caught cold.
Get caught, yeah. Because, Jimmy, you had mentioned that Lopez, not a puncher, but still scores knockdowns, still hurts guys. Because of these sharp counter punches, you can see why.
And you can see Lopez trying to back up the puncher. A lot of times punchers aren't the same when they're backed up. Lopez making a concerted effort here to back up Cardoza and having some good success.
And they are fighting in a phone booth in round 3.
But as soon as Cardoza's up back on the front foot, you see he starts landing.
Yeah, but those that rolling from Lopez doing really good work here. Big shots upstairs.
The blood is now flowing back goes the head of Cardoza. Cardoza trying to stay with it.
Well,
why we're excited about this matchup, guys.
Yeah, we said this had show stealer all written all over it. We're only in round 3 here, and we've had an awesome, awesome fight so far.
Paul, you talked about it. Cardoza has a tendency under fire to not slip, not move, fire back, get him off you with his power.
Yeah, offensively, he's very technical, but then once you start hitting him, he lets his emotions get the best of him. He just starts charging in, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to really charge in at Lopez, who's trying to still be smart using that ring. Cardoza should be cutting off the ring here, but he's not.
That's a classic power puncher mistake. Relies on the power and doesn't worry about their defense as much. Nice counter, right hand over the top from Cardoza as Lopez came to stand. Good right hand. Rocks Cardoza. Oh!
Another one. He has found the timing of his right hand.
Both guys landing right hands there.
Lopez doing a great job setting traps. You see Cardoza plodding forward.
Smart level changing on defense from Lopez, especially when he's caught on the ropes.
You're not in your base. You're not in your base. You're walking. He's hitting you clean. Your chin's up. Let's go. You're owning this motherfucker. You're already starting to break him down. So let's stay there, okay? Keep going in that body and be responsible. Go in the body, get out to the angle. Get out to the angle.
Welcome back inside the ProBox TV Event Center. I hate to say I told you so, but the champs told me this would be a war.
Yeah, not surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was going to start this quick, but hey, I'm not mad about it. First round was a little bit of feeling out round. Rounds 2 and 3, all-out war broke out. Here we see Lopez with some beautiful right hands at the top, great counters, good shoulder rolls, but Cardoza landed a lot of big shots that round as well.
Round number 4 scheduled for 10. It's been a war so far. Jonathan Cardoza from Brazil in the white with the Brazilian flag on the front. Lopez in the gray and blue from Los Angeles, California. As we said, his father won a silver medal in 1984. We've seen the boxing technique, but, you know, Chris, you called it. When he gets hit, he wants to answer back. You call him a boxer, but he's willing to fight.
Oh, no, he likes exchanges because he believes in his defense. He believes in his ability to roll and fire. He believes in his counterpunching. And he's got the mentality like, all right, you hit me, so what? I'm going to come back and hit you more. Like that. I love that stop and change of direction that Lopez does. Got great footwork, fires from that movement beautifully. But again, he gets away from the jab at times and gets into more of a firefight than he needs to be in.
Paulie, could it come down to how the judges judge the punches, in a sense? Because Cardoza does land with authority a little bit.
Yeah, it could, but I also see when the intensity is raised, it's almost like Lopez is a little bit more comfortable, you know, than it's Cardoza. I don't know if that's that crazy Los Angeles gyms sparring that he's used to the intensity.
The experience.
Yeah, the West Coast, the sparring on the West Coast is constantly intense.
But also just the in-the-ring professional experience, the guys that he's been in with. You know, you got guys like Oscar Valdez whipping hooks at you, and you've spent 20 rounds with the guy.
But it's almost like when the intensity is raised, he's a little bit more comfortable, and he's more willing to raise the intensity as Cardoza's still trying to fight under a controlled intensity.
When Cardoza shortens up the punches, he's landing. It's when he gets fat with them, and that's when he misses against counter. But Lopez is so tricky and slick with the movement, the counters, the rolls, the fire. He changes the trajectory of those punches very nicely. I mentioned that up jab earlier. He throws a nice little shuttle punch to the body as well with the right hand. See, those are those shorter punches. When Cardoza shortens up, he's able to touch Lopez.
There's a reason we've had him on our air 3 times here at ProBox TV. He is exciting, knockout machine. And as you said, when he's on target, Chris, man, he packs a punch just like that.
Good uppercuts there from Cardoza, backs up Lopez.
Oh, good right hand from Cardoza on the inside. Very short shot and a big left hook. That hurt Lopez.
Yeah, Lopez felt those.
But Lopez stays right in the pocket.
True to the blue nose name, Pitbulls don't back off.
Yeah, he was getting backed up for a second, but he's making it, again, he's making a concerted effort to back up the puncher. He's less of a puncher if you're backing him up.
It's almost similar to how Alexander Usyk fought Tyson Fury. Back the man up, back him up, take the puncher's punch away. Break him mentally.
Yeah, you talk about the faith in his defense. He's got a lot of faith in his chin, too, to take these shots.
That's a great point, Jimmy.
Good
level changes, angle changes, direction changes.
But more consistency.
Wednesday night fights. On the next Wednesday night fights, June 5th, Radjan Butayev takes on Guido Emmanuel Schramm. Wednesday night fights.
Schramm versus Butayev is our next one. That's right, in 2 weeks. It's going to be absolutely outstanding. It's going to be a great fight in the super welterweight division, 154 pounds, a red-hot division right now in boxing. These two lightweights, though, in our co-main event, getting ready for round number 5. Yeah, we hyped it up, and it's been that good.
Yeah, it's been sharp there from Cardoza. It's the first time in the fight that I saw Lopez, when he was backing up this time, taking deep breaths, and having a little bit of an uncomfortable look on him when he was looking to find those openings of escape. Cardoza, I felt like, made him a bit more uncomfortable last round than he had earlier in the fight.
Well, we're in round 5 now. This is when fights start to heat up. This is when the men get separated from the boys.
Considering how hot this has been since round number 3, it's quite a statement. Cardoza from Brazil in the white and blue with the Brazilian flag on the front. Lopez in the gray and blue from Los Angeles, California.
That's another thing, too, to keep in mind. The second half of the fight, Cardoza's style is a little bit more energy-saving. Yeah, Lopez left, right, level changes up, down, all these things. Good hook there from Lopez with nice body attack. Right hand from Cardoza, guys.
But also, champ, to that point, Cardoza struggles to make the weight much more than Adam does.
Good point.
It could nullify.
Yeah, it could nullify his conditioning later in the fight.
It's the questions that make a fight interesting. This fight, a lot of questions heading into the back half.
Man, that left hook that Cardoza landed was vicious.
Lopez is not rolling as effectively as he was earlier in the fight, guys.
And you mentioned the breath of Lopez. You saw him take a big breath out there.
Because Cardoza's touching the body here and there, and those shots dig.
And listen, when you got a puncher like Cardoza, all those half shots, those grazing blows, those bother you too. That's why, Jimmy, you brought up a great point, like how the judges are going to see this fight. Because also, Lopez is rolling with a lot of these shots, taking some of the oomph off of them. But the heavier hands are certainly from Cardoza.
But I'll tell you what, he's not rolling as effectively as he was a couple of rounds ago. That's something to keep an eye on as well.
That's been certainly an adjustment in these two in terms of the way Cardoza's throwing the punches, but also
the fatigue of Lopez catching up.
Is cutting into his technique.
If you're going to be a volume puncher, you need the cardio to go with it. Remember, like a Paul Williams, the guy threw 100 punches.
Guys, you see, no rolls.
Oh, yeah. And no, a lot of this started from the jab of Cardoza. He's shown me a really good jab tonight. I've been impressed using his length, and you'd want to see that from a guy this tall.
Lopez taking to the body, guys. Only specifically to the body. Good counters there from Cardoza with the uppercuts. That's the answer to the body shots. Both guys digging.
And this is what I mean about Cardoza, showing chin and durability. Even though Adam's landing these great shots up and downstairs, Cardoza's not slowing down at all.
They are chest to chest in round number 5, scheduled for 10.
Nice angle there from Cardoza.
The odds that we see 10, however, slipping away.
You see Lopez trying to push back Cardoza, taking away the puncher's ability. And you see when you back up Cardoza, you have the advantage. There it is again from Lopez.
Lopez refuses to take a step back.
And he's smothering the punches of Cardoza, who will not stop throwing.
Jeez, I would love to see what the punch down numbers on this fight is. These guys are non-stop.
You think punch outs are that accurate anyway?
I give you an idea at least.
We're not counting, we're just enjoying.
I see these eyes.
I just want to see how many numbers we got.
This ain't going 10.
Good. Deep breath. Straight up the middle with a couple shots. And then with the hook.
Looking at the corner of Adam Lopez. The reason he's getting all this work in the corner, well, both guys need a lot of work after that last round.
The guys in the truck who are picking these replays either have the hardest job or the easiest job in the world with this fight, because the whole fight is a replay. These guys are coming back and forth non-stop the entire round.
I mean, you see when Lopez is able to back Cardoza up, Cardoza much less effective.
When Cardoza gets on the jab, though, that's when he's
exactly.
really...
He's on the jab and then starts moving forward and backing up Lopez.
Are you a little surprised? We talk so much about the height advantage of Cardoza from Brazil, but inside he hasn't shied away from the phone booth fight at all.
No, not at all. And he believes in his power. And we talked about his technique. He's got very good fundamentals and good sharp technique, and he's shown that tonight. And that's what's kept him alive in this fight, especially in close range. Oh. And these guys are fighting right in front of each other.
Yeah.
Not a lot of movement.
As you said, Paulie, the slips from Lopez, very sharp early in the fight. They've slowed down a bit. He's been eating more of those close punches.
But I tell you what, he's trying to make up for it with. He's trying to make up for it with by backing up Cardoza and trying to take away the sting from the shots of Cardoza.
Lopez has a tendency, though, to freeze in front of guys. He'll land something beautiful and stand right here, just like this, and he gets hit with shots like that he doesn't need to be there to take. Oh, big left hook. Guys trade, and then right back comes it Lopez.
What do they say, Chris? Don't admire your work in there. Watch it when you're done.
These guys are drenched in sweat now. You saw Lopez slip in his corner there. Puddles of water, then Coach Eric Brown wiping that up.
Absolutely incredible action.
Man, these guys are fighting down.
Unbelievable.
Oh, what a shot.
Every time it looks like one fighter has the physical advantage, the other one takes it right back.
These guys are tit for tat, right back at it. Nuts and guts, boys, nuts and guts. We speak a lot about Lopez and his boxing ability, but the guy's never in a bad fight. He doesn't know how to not get into these exchanges and wars.
So far has not been backed off by the power of Cardoza. Say it over and over, 16 fights, 15 knockouts, but Lopez has not fought intimidated.
I don't know if it's a cut or an abrasion under the eye of Lopez. It's that lead eye.
Oh, nice right hand. That got Lopez's attention.
And Lopez came right back as well. He gets hit with a big shot and then answers immediately.
This is stunning action, guys.
This is awesome.
This crowd's so appreciative but stunned, just like us, at the intensity of this fight since round number 3.
This is one of those fights where we don't even really have to talk. We could just sit back and the guys just watch this, the beauty of what's going on here, the beautiful violence.
Ooh, the technique and the power of these men speaks for itself. Now, champs, is when conditioning starts becoming a factor. And also, I don't know who's ahead. I hate to be judging this. We're not even trying to.
I have not even been thinking about scoring this fight. I'm just enjoying the action. I mean, there's just so many ebbs and flows in both directions. And throughout every round, the adjustments.
And also, what do you like as a judge? What's your preference in terms of punches? Because they're throwing every single kind. And to your point, Paulie, early on, especially Lopez, rolling well, but sometimes you can't tell. Is that a landed punch or is the guy rolling and slipping in here?
Yeah, he's not been as sharp rolling. And some of the fatigue. Sometimes he's partially rolling. And honestly, both guys are landing a lot, too.
Yeah. I love when we say they're going to be a good fight and they live up to it.
Yeah, well, on this network, it's not that hard, right?
Very true.
Don't give up my secret.
That's so true. Here, ProBox TV, round number 7. About to begin. It has been a war. Round number 3, they opened up. They have not stopped since. Jonathan Cardoza from Brazil in the blue and white, Brazilian flag on the leg, versus Adam Lopez from Los Angeles in the gray and blue.
Adam showing some aggressive head movement here, using his defense as his offense to close the distance to try and back Cardoza up. But Cardoza keeping the distance well, drawing that line in the sand, keeping that left jab out there. Very impressed with the discipline of Cardoza tonight. Back to the jab. Oh, good right hand from Lopez. Another one of those weird shots that comes from a strange trajectory. Starting
to see that inevitable fatigue. After after an incredible 4 rounds. Slowing down just a little bit. Cardoza starting to stalk.
Lopez using a lot of energy in the beginning of this round.
Yeah, I think he's using those angle changes to try to buy time, but at the same time, all that movement is still burning energy. And he's not able to punch back either. He's got the Cardoza missing a lot, but he's not returning fire. Oh, again. Right hand backed off Lopez.
But also, Champ, maybe he's doing this so he's not taking so much damage because he has been getting hit a lot the last couple rounds.
Yeah, different approach this round.
Yeah, strafing, a lot of pot shots, one at a time. Not a ton of combinations from Lopez here in round number 7.
Well, let's see, still half a round to go. Let's see if he starts punching back now.
Also, let's see if his legs hold up because he's, again, using a lot of energy. And that's one of the things about Lopez. You know, I mentioned Jimmy asked you, what does he need to do? Jab, double jab, triple jab. He's gotten away from the jab. He's actually been out jabbed at a number of times with Cardoza.
Yeah, it's almost like he's taking this round off.
Strangely enough, Lopez, not known as a knockout puncher, has made this kind of a power punching fight. Right? Hasn't made it a jabbing contest.
But that's kind of his MO. I mean, he's got a great jab, but he is easily goaded into a fight.
And Lopez, just like this, has been more than willing to do that throughout this fight. Make it a war, make it a phone booth fight.
Cardoza picking real short shots on the inside. Uppercut is a smart move when you got a guy rolling shoulders like that. Good jab there from Lopez. Oh, big short right hand.
Man, Lopez staying in the inside now. Started out that first 2/3 of the round, moving around. Now he's refusing to move back.
The ref, I believe, told Cardoza not to push off. And he goes right back to it and pushes off and does it again. Blood from the nose of Cardoza.
Good round from Cardoza.
Nothing to worry about, okay? In fact, I don't even think that's what it is. Okay, you're good, okay? All right, let's get that inswell on that eye. Hey, that's his blood. That ain't your blood. That's his blood.
Yeah, I'm here to fight.
You're here to fight. That's right. You listening? The jab's got to be good, man. With that right hand. Bam, 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 bam. This is 8. Okay?
Welcome back inside the ProBox TV Event Center. June 5th, Butayev versus Schramm, 154 pounds. That's going to be a great main event. Argentina versus Russia. The records in front of you, both these guys, scrappers, incredibly aggressive. That's been the story of these fights so far. ProBox TV, this co-main event, no different at all. We thought it'd be fight of the night. So far, it has lived up to the billing.
If it's not fight of the night
versus Adam Lopez.
If this is not fight of the night, then our main event is going to be awesome.
Incredible. I've just been here long enough to withhold judgment. You never know. So far, this has been outstanding.
It's also tough to follow up and act like this, right? It's like,
yeah.
It's almost a little bit of pressure too, as the follow-up to this, you know.
But also, a fight like this sucks the energy out of the room. Like, you're so invested. People are going to be exhausted leaving our arena tonight.
Well, it's kind of like with a concert, right? Have you ever seen a Live Aid after Freddie Mercury went on? You know, it's like, I think the next group was either Tears for Fears
or somebody. Who knows? Because they followed Queen.
I remember it's a good band, but no energy. And that's the kind of risk you have with a fight like this. The crowd has been so into it.
Lopez starting out this round similar to how he did last round.
Champ, are you a little concerned about that Lopez, taking at least part of last round off in a very close fight?
Yeah, I don't think it was a good round for him, for Lopez, actually.
Yeah, I feel like he waited to the last minute to work, but he didn't seem like he worked enough even in the last minute. Cardoza really pushing the pace, and I see a big breath there from Lopez as he backs off.
Cardoza for fighting at the southpaw stance. Both of them are, actually.
Yeah, both in the southpaw stance now. Lopez not throwing punches out of the southpaw stance.
It's funny, they both did it, so I didn't notice.
Lopez has been able to fire back to stay in this fight, even in tough rounds, but that is going away in round number 8.
Lopez's punch output going way down the last 2 rounds. Yeah, and he comes back.
This is how he has kept Cardoza at bay, is with power punches on the inside.
Cardoza's allergic to head movement, though. I was like, hey, what head movement?
Yeah, he's straight up and down. I mean, what a clash of styles, man. A clash of body types, everything. These guys are both giving their all. No one wants to take a backward step. No one wants to give the other guy an inch.
Both guys have shown their well-rounded skills, both decorated amateurs.
And determination. Good shot there from Lopez, the right hand, but still backing off.
Yeah, when Lopez settles down and picks his shots, oh, good right hand from Cardoza.
Yeah, counter off those body shots from Lopez.
That's the thing, man. When you're a puncher and you can throw those shots from anywhere, you just have that God-given punch.
It's also reaching. He's a little longer, so.
Yeah, I mean, he's huge. He's gigantic for this weight class.
And right now, his power is the difference. Jonathan Cardoza, second round in a row. Looks like he's getting the better of Adam Lopez down the stretch.
Cardoza gave a nod at the end of the round like that. All right, dude, respect.
A ton of respect, but no quarter given in this fight. Easiest job in the world tonight is finding replays in the truck.
And now this is where Lopez did not want to be on the ropes. Cardoza does really good work on the ropes. You saw that in the Oscar Alvarez fight. There we saw a beautiful short right hand, clips the chin of Lopez, and Lopez comes right back with his own left hook and clips the chin of Cardoza. It's been that kind of fight. It's hard to tell what round you're in because they're just nonstop action, running through round to round to round.
But Jam, you look at Lopez's defense, it's been his ability to answer back. And that's kind of gone down the last couple rounds.
Yeah, I mean,
do you think that's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, his punch output definitely went down. I mentioned in the last round. But then he picks his spots and he rattles off 15 punches. So it's like, you know, you can never count him out. You know, I know Adam Lopez's nickname is Blue Nose, you know, for the pit bull, but these guys are in a dogfight tonight.
Pitch bull, they called him in Brazil, trust me. There are a million of them.
We got 2 pitch bulls tonight fighting.
Shout out to Thiago Alves, the original pit bull to me. But that ability, right?
I was going to say, it was a Brazilian, it was pit bull too, yeah.
Thiago the pitch bull Alves, trust me.
He trains in my gym in Boca.
Good man.
Yeah, loves boxing. Loves boxing.
But this ability of the Brazilian to rely on the power punch, they've been there when he's needed them to get back into fights.
Yeah, but he's also been really technical tonight. He's improved. This is the best version of Jonathan Cardoza I've ever seen. We've had him on our air quite a bit.
Yeah, because it's also, he's in with the best quality we've seen him so far as well. Very true. Lopez is bringing out the best in Cardoza. Because Lopez is a bit of a step up in competition as well.
A lot of blood from the nose of Jonathan Cardoza. He's been blading most of the night, but it's really starting to come out heavy and thick now.
If Adam Lopez's strategy was drag this guy into deep water and use my experience and my gas, that has not been the case. Cardoza has not punched himself out, and we're in round number 9.
That's another thing that's been very impressive about Cardoza tonight. Has been the conditioning.
Yeah, and good shots there.
Still putting on a lot of pressure, being physical, controlling the center of the ring. Lopez moving brilliantly all night long, but freezing at times like that and getting hit. Good body shot there.
And we haven't had Cardoza here for about a year due to, you know, visa, having to renew his visa. But he's jumped right back in a hellacious paced fight. Usually you got to work your way into these kind of things.
No, not here in ProBox. We don't work anybody into anything. It's put up or shut up every time out.
And Cardoza doing exactly that.
These guys are non-stop, man. What conditioning, what heart, what grit.
Lopez trying to make that effort to back up Cardoza again. Cardoza this time steps around.
You can see the power of Cardoza is not the same when he's fighting off that back foot.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's smart of Lopez when he does back him up.
Yeah, but he's not landing anymore. He used to do that and was able to land a lot of combinations. Now, good body shot. Very sneaky right uppercut to the body from Lopez.
Cardoza once again back to stalking mode.
Little clash of heads there. Taller man actually headbutted Lopez under the chin. He got very low and Lopez dove in. Good right hand over the top.
Again, that's that long right hand. It's hard to pull on a taller guy.
Yeah. Good head movement there from Lopez. Stepping around too. That's something I haven't seen a lot from him tonight that he does really well, is step around guys. movement there. Nice rolling, but not a lot of punches coming back.
He's making a miss, but not necessarily making him pay, which he was doing early on in the fight.
That's that fatigue.
What round we in? Hey, this is number 10 now, all right?
This fight might be as close to even as it gets as we get ready for round 10.
Here we see more action, both back and forth guys standing right in front of each other. It's a little bit of your turn, my turn here between these two, landing beautiful shots. Oh, nice, hard headbutt there, clash of heads. I thought it was on the chin. I think it was multiple headbutts that round, but that one was on the side of the head for Adam Lopez, got the worst of it.
As we head to round 10, this fight might be even. You have to assume, like you never corners, that this is even and they need this round.
And you look at the height and the reach of Jonathan Cardoza, 5'10", 73-inch reach. That's a good height and reach for a welterweight. We're at 132 pounds here tonight. Oh, big cut on the bridge of the head, high in the head, or is that blood from the nose?
That might have been from that clash of heads. That cut, on the scalp.
Looks like at the hairline.
Yeah, that doesn't come from a punch. That's either an elbow or a headbutt.
Well, we saw that replay. It was the point of the skull of Cardoza.
Counter right hand. Cardoza trying to raise the intensity of the pressure here.
But man, Cardoza right now putting so much physical pressure on Adam Lopez.
All right, right off my face there, guys. That's good.
There you go.
Got our smocks on for this fight.
We got to get face shields now.
We've needed them. Come to work in a hazmat suit for a fight like this.
And I think we spoke too soon. I don't think that was a cut. I think that was just like a blotch of blood that came from the nose. Oh, Cardoza pouring it on here in round 10.
Cardoza fighting like he needs this 10th round.
Yeah, Lopez is fading a little bit.
Another good right hand.
The consistency of the attack is on the side of Cardoza right now.
And he's just pouring it on, coming forward. He's just walking forward, trying to cut off the ring, chasing Lopez down, looking for big shots. Very impressive conditioning shown from Jonathan Cardoza tonight.
Especially considering the activity level early in the fight. He's throwing a lot of punches.
They both have. I mean, this has been a high-impact night that started in round 2. A little bit of a feeling out round in round 1. Round 2 through 10, nonstop.
But for a puncher like Cardoza, his knockout percentage, 15 out of 16, to have this kind of stamina in round 10, that's impressive.
See, Lopez backed up Cardoza to the ropes before pushing him, but then didn't punch. So it allowed Cardoza to come right off the ropes and start shooting shots.
The adjustment from Cardoza to shorten up the punches on the inside has been the difference.
This is what a pace. What a pace in this.
You said it before, champs. We are tired at ringside looking at this fight. These guys are in there throwing, getting hit, and they're still going at it.
And still smiling at each other.
Cardoza saying, bring it.
Oh!
Lopez trying to land the sneak shots, but they're fewer and further between.
Lopez's ability to move and fire off that movement is a great weapon, especially against a puncher and plotter like Jonathan Cardoza.
The chin on these fighters is unbelievable. Both of them.
Chin, heart, conditioning, all of it. Technique, skill, will, you name it.
They're right in front of us. You see a lot of these punches landing clean. And
that right hand
fighter showing a heavy shot.
Haven't seen anyone seriously hurt, rocked. No one has gone down.
Blood marring the face of Jonathan Cardoza. Now mixing their names together. I'm so tired from watching
because
this
it
fight.
doesn't matter because they're both going to war.
Respect there from you guys.
Unbelievable performance from both of these fighters.
Yeah, that's how you get respect.
I tell you, when the judging for Fight of the Year comes to mind at the end of the year, I hope the good people that judges see a lot of these fights on ProBoxes.
They are rising to their feet here at the ProBox TV Event Center.
We have Fight of the Year candidates often here.
Yeah.
To the point where you might forget some of them.
Here are the highlights. Pick whatever round you want. Pick whatever fighter you want. It was all a highlight.
Yeah, I mean, just watch the action, people. I mean, it was back and forth. No one was ever really to pull away and show that there was any kind of dominance, especially throughout an entire round. I mean, it was back and forth action throughout.
Yeah, they really went for it, man.
Like I said, maybe the first round was a little slow for these two, but rounds 2 through 10 was...
once they got going, either guy, it was like both of them said, yeah, oh yeah.
And they just kept stepping up.
That was it. Matching intensity, back and forth. That's what it was. And a lot of times Lopez did have some success backing up Cardoza or with the roll and shoots. But as the fight progressed, it was a little bit less, a little bit more movement and a little bit less punching. A little bit, even the rolling was a little bit less well-timed. And you saw Cardoza start to really step on the gas more and control the pace in the fight.
Yeah, the punch output of Lopez seemed to drop a little bit in the last couple rounds, but he started using his feet more, was firing more, not taking as many blows, but that last round, Cardoza really poured it on. Landed big shots. I mean, I don't think he stopped punching the whole round in round 10. Speaking of round 10, put a lot of pressure, physical pressure, and with his combination punching. And I hope these judges are really paying attention because there's a lot of nuance to this matchup.
Lopez, you could argue, took the early rounds, but Cardoza finishing strong. One job I don't want tonight is that of judge, but they have done their jobs. Jim Sorensen has the scorecards. He will end all suspense in the ring right now. Get it going.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, tell these men what you thought of this fight. This is what you get on ProBox TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Braden Jackson scores this bout 96-94 in favor of Jonathan Cardozo. Judge Brian Gary scores this bout 97-93 in favor of Adam Lopez. And Judge Shami Shipman scores this bout 99-91 in favor of your winner by split decision, Jonathan Maximo Cardozo.
99-91.
And I'll tell you what, that's not the first time I hear that last name Shipman with a weird scorecard, because we work these fights often enough. That last name has had that's not the first weird scorecard that name turns in.
We're not saying the wrong man won. I mean, the right man won. It was a very close fight.
It was a close fight. I mean, you saw 99-91 any direction, you didn't see the fight. I mean, you missed a great fight.
96-94, fair either way.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting. How do you watch that fight? How do you watch that fight and have 99-91 in any direction? That's wild.
Corner's looking at us now, and we got to agree that's a bizarre scorecard. It makes no sense at all. Once again, no problem with Cardoza winning. I thought he finished very, very strong, but 99-91? At most 2 rounds either way. At most.
Well, I like 96-94. You know, in either way. You know, I was almost expecting it to be 95-95 for that third judge. And I wouldn't be surprising. 99-91.
Lopez looking at us right now, disappointed, but an amazing fight, incredible performance.
And that's what it comes down to. You got a guy who fought that way, and then he's got to hear 99-91.
I'll tell you, the good thing
it's
about
a slap in the face. I hate it. But
the good thing about ProBox though is if you fight well, you get brought back. You know, it's not. It doesn't make it all right, but it's a silver lining, at least, where you're like, you know, a lot of other networks you lose and you wind up not on the network again. ProBox, a guy like Adam Lopez.
Adam Lopez is perfect.
Perfect for ProBox. You're coming back again if you want to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's perfect for ProBox, and he put on an incredible fight. And literally fight of the year type stuff.
Yeah, and Cardozo is always in a fun fight each and every time he's out there.
We sold it as fight of the night. It would be the show stealer, and it was. And we still have a main event left to go. But
good to see you.
Cardozo, Lopez, absolutely amazing performance. And once again, still a main event to go.
Wednesday night fights on ProBox TV. Evenly matched fights, 50-50. If you're looking for competitive matchups, every other Wednesday night fights on ProBox TV.
Join Chris, Paulie, and myself ringside every other Wednesday on ProBox TV.
Dynamite action on Wednesday night fights every other Wednesday on your boxing channel, ProBox TV.
On the next Wednesday night fights, June 5th, Rajab No Mercy Butayev steps into the ring with Guido Emmanuel Schramm of Argentina. Live from the ProBox Event Center in Plant City. Get your tickets at ProBoxTV.com or take your chances at the door. Wednesday night fights.
You got to be inside the building here at ProBox TV Event Center in Plant City to believe what we just saw. We are ringside. We have our smocks for that fight. A lot of blood out of the nose of Cardoza, some cuts on the face of Lopez, an incredible performance. We still have a main event to go. Chris, just like our co-main event that we just saw, boxer versus puncher is kind of what we thought. No, we got two technicians who could do a lot of things. We expect the same thing in the main event.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if it's anywhere near as good as that co-main event, then we're in for another great fight. I'm exhausted at that fight. I got that smock on. You can't see I'm sweating under my suit here, but that was a fantastic fight.
Absolutely unbelievable. When it comes to the main event, it's this idea of bringing the best out in somebody. We saw the best Cardoza we've seen. He's fought here before at ProBox TV because he had the right opposition. When it comes to Jukembayev, we've seen him here before, a technician, but his opponent might bring that extra edge out of him. That's what you're thinking, Paulie.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm wondering. Jukembayev is always pretty solid, no frills, you know, nothing to complain about. You wonder how many more levels he can be brought up. Can Redkach bring him up those levels? The thing about Redkach is he's a bit of an enigma himself. I mean, he'll go from, you know, making a really good, exciting fight to just randomly quitting. You know what I mean? Which I felt like he did in the Prograis fight. You know, or he bit Danny Garcia on the shoulder when they fought.
A way to quiet quit. That's quiet quit.
So, you know, Redkach
fighting is loud quitting.
Yeah. but what I'm saying is Redkach is all over the place. A solid Redkach can give us some more answers about Jukembayev. The bad Redkach, and we may still have the same questions about Jukembayev.
Regardless of which Redkach shows up, every one of them can punch. The guy's a southpaw. He's got a good left hand, and he's got a ton of experience. I'm hoping this is the kind of fight that Jukembayev gets forced to step up to another level, which is what we saw in the co-main event. We saw Jonathan Cardoza, who's been on air a million times, but he fought Adam Lopez, who made him step up his game. So I'm wondering if Ivan Redkach, again, it's a similar situation. Adam Lopez, the experienced guy. Ivan Redkach, the experienced guy, pushing the potential.
And also, the guys that have beaten Redkach have been solid. You know, you got like Kevin Farmer, Danny Garcia, Regis Prograis. So if you're able to beat a Redkach, you're showing the level you're at. And so that's what we want to find out about Jukembayev.
Paulie, after our last fight, 99-91 on one scorecard, which makes sense. Under his smock, we saw this. That means this from Paulie. You couldn't believe it.
It could have been that. It could be something else. A little more.
It could have been a lot, depending on what the judges
said. It's a shame about judging, man, but it's the same conversation all the time.
It puts a black eye on a great fight. That's upsetting, because now instead of talking about how fantastic that fight was, we got to talk about how terrible that scorecard was. Because the other scorecards are right. 96, 94, 97, 93. Even 97, 93, I'm like, that's probably a little closer than that. But 99, 91, you're filling out your scorecard on the way here then. What are we doing?
I'm sorry, that's a one-sided butt kicking. And that's not what we saw at all in that fight. We saw a great back and forth fight with Lopez able to slip punches and move, and Cardoza kind of taking over at the end. Do you think part of it was the fight Lopez expected, where he thought, okay, I'll drag this guy into deep waters, because he didn't stop punching. Cardoza really turned it up. Most punchers aren't able to do that late in a fight where they have to throw a lot of punches, but he did.
Yeah, and part of the reason Cardoza gets those knockouts is because he knows how to put those little punches in bunches. You know, he takes some steam off and he adds some steam to the shots. He's got the offensive part of his game pretty well. It's the defensive part of his game that he's got to work on.
Very straight,
a little bit of head movement, you know, a little bit of level
changes. Even a little bit of dipping would be nice.
When it came to Cardoza, what do you want to see him moving forward, of course, with a win tonight, to add that extra, to be ready for that next level? What do you think?
Exactly what you just said. Getting that head offline, not being so tall, not being so straight up on defense. On offense is fine. You got that punch. You got guys backing up. But on defense, you got to be a little more aware, a little more conditioning with those hands and head movement.
Well, when it comes to defense, head movement, the ability to hit and not get hit, that's what's on tap for our main event tonight, right? It's an Eastern European showdown. Kazakhstan versus Ukraine. That ability to hit and not get hit, that's what Jukembayev has in spades from the southpaw stance. He is tight. He is orthodox. He has the ability to, and I don't mean orthodox in the stance. I mean orthodox is ability, hands high, good movement, great combinations. But his opponent, Redkach, a bit of the X factor. He does have power, but he can open up sometimes, make it a brawl, can be a bit up and down in fights and within rounds themselves. Will that bring the best out of Jukembayev? That is the question in our main event. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, the physical differences between these two fighters, and how will they be borne out in the fight. That's right, Redkach, a little bit older, 5 years older than his opponent. He has the height advantage, weighed in a little bit heavier, and a slight reach advantage. Can he keep his opponent at bay? That is the question. Jim Sorensen will get it started in our main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the moment you've been waiting for, our main event of the evening. Tonight, our main event winner will be crowned the new WBA Continental North America Super Lightweight Champion. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds in the welterweight division, and the winner taking home the belts, your judges, William Glover, Braden Jackson, and Shami Shipman. And the third man in the ring is your referee, Christopher Young. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the white and gold trunks. He weighed in at 141.6 pounds. His record of 24 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, with 19 wins by knockout. From Los Angeles, California, please welcome Ivan El Terrible Redkach. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the blue, yellow, and red trunks. He weighed in at 139.8 pounds. His record, 22 wins, just 1 loss, with 16 wins by knockout. From Almaty, Kazakhstan, please welcome Batyrzhan Jukembayev.
Okay, champ, listen, I'm gonna give him all of this right here. All right, Jimmy, you know what time it is. For the WBA title fight. Fight hard, fight clean, touch him up.
No 3 knockdown rule in effect for this title fight. WBA North America Continental Super Lightweight Championship. Batyrzhan Jukembayev, 22-1. Ivan Redkach, 24-6-1. But as you said, Paulie, he's been in there against some of the best, and here we go. Jukembayev in the blue, yellow, and red. Redkach in the white and gold.
You know, Redkach has been campaigning at 147 pounds, and now he's back down to 140. You know, we've seen him all over the map. We've seen him at 35, we've seen him at 40, we've seen him at 47, and been in big fights in all of those weight classes. Curious to see how he looks back down at 140, now at 38 years old.
As you get older, cutting that weight becomes so much harder.
It's hard to go backwards when you're older.
But I don't think he was ever like a real welterweight, right? No. Didn't he start at 130, 135 even, you know? I just felt like he maybe went to 47 for the opportunities.
I think you're right, champ. He jumped up for that Devin Alexander fight, the Danny Garcia fight, which is a good money fight. He fought Prograis at 142.
Jukembayev, a veteran here at ProBox TV. Last time, of course, defeated Mohamed Mamoun. That was December 13th of last year.
Mamoun, very solid guy.
Yeah, ex-European champion, ex-IBO champion.
Had a couple of big wins on our air, actually.
Yeah, he defeated Cesar Francis, right?
And couldn't find a way in that fight against Jukembayev. Jukembayev, as you can see in this fight so far, hands high, stays in that southpaw stance, very technical. It's hard to find a way in. Anything about the back of that ref says, I don't want to hear it.
Redkach already starting to complain. The thing is, it's southpaw versus southpaw. I don't think that was the back of the head as much as he tried to sell it as. That was sort of a pull down.
Once again, shooting the hook. The referee doesn't say anything. You keep going.
Listen, Jukembayev is being smart. If the ref is not saying anything to you, alerting him, then go right back to it.
Yeah, and it's more like Jukembayev's hook is kind of scraping across, and then he's pulling down the head of Redkach. Not punching at the back of the head of Redkach. Redkach has to respond to that. Most of them look for a foul.
In round number 1 so far, Jukembayev, a much busier fighter.
very sharp. Jukembayev picking those spots really well, landing some good left hands and some right hooks already. Stab jabs to the belly has been a consistent weapon from the opening bell as well.
You see behind him Terrence Crawford in the red in the second row as a sparring partner of Jukembayev. It's a great guy to spar with.
Man, that right hook is giving Redkach a lot of problems.
Already some redness on the right side of the face of Redkach.
Yeah, so tonight we've got some of the stablemates of Terrence Crawford. We had Harris earlier tonight, and now Jukembayev tonight. It's beautiful to see Crawford at these smaller shows supporting his stablemates. Really, it really brings up the spirits of fighters who are trying to make their way up the ladder.
You got to do what you have to do. Let the jab is looking nice, and you're not letting the left hand go at you. Let it go. Let it go.
Welcome back. Both these fighters southpaws. Jukembayev's trainer didn't want to put his microphone on. It's up to him whether or not to wear it.
But who in the corner? Jukembayev didn't want it. Bomac?
Trainer, yeah.
Oh, Bomac.
We'll find out. I believe it was Bomac, but we'll see. But you see the lead hook from the southpaw against the southpaw.
Behind the head. That's just the follow-up because Redkach is kind of leaning his head in. The follow-up is scraping across.
And the rule, gentlemen, is you're not allowed to target the back of the head. If you move, that's your problem. Once again, a southpaw versus southpaw battle. Jukembayev so far, certainly busier than Redkach.
One thing I always look for with older fighters is their legs, and Redkach looks to be very heavy on his feet. You've seen himself walking himself to the corners at times. A lot of times you see that in older fighters, the legs just don't move the same way. The feet get a little stuck in the mud.
Wide stance so far. Body shot. Heard that body shot across this arena.
Yeah, well placed by Jukembayev.
Yeah, Jukembayev landed a nice right hook to the opposite side at the end of the first round.
I mean, Redkach has to respond to those. I mean, he keeps complaining, but he keeps putting himself in a position to take those.
That's why I got hit right after that. I mean, the ref is not responding to his indications.
Not once, as he said, no, that was behind the head, watch it. No warnings at all. The referee doesn't see it. It does not exist.
Yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing from the legs of Redkach.
Yeah.
The balance doesn't look there.
And even the mentality, it's almost like he's looking for a way to make Jukembayev foul out more than try to win this fight, you know?
But Paul, you had questions about that at the beginning of the fight because of the Regis Prograis fight. Took a body shot, said it was a low blow. The mentality of Redkach as a competitor, you questioned it before the fight.
Yeah, could the fight be beaten out of him at this point? You know, he's 38 years old. He's been in some tough fights. He's been in with some of the best fighters in the world. You know, sometimes it's just beaten out of you, and you don't have the wherewithal to be in these kind of fights anymore. Jukembayev is a hungry fighter.
Yeah, and he's got a big opportunity in front of him to put a name on his record. You know, and like you said, Champ, to get a little bit of a wow victory. You know, and he's got a guy in front of him that looks to be a willing participant in that.
And talk about the experience differential in terms of talent. Redkach, of course, Regis Prograis, Danny Garcia, but in those fights, you also take a lot of damage.
Yeah,
they're excellent fighters who throw a lot, good punchers. That catches up with you eventually.
Every fight, you leave a little bit of yourself in there. And when you fight a lot of good fighters, you end up leaving a little more than others. Ooh, man, yeah, that chopping right hook, the one that Redkach has been complaining about, he just does not have any defense for it.
But every time, gentlemen, every time Jukembayev throws a combination, he goes right back, hands high, resets just like this. Doesn't go crazy with the follow-up.
And, I mean, he's just so precise. Even when he throws combinations, he's landing every punch. Finding the holes, picking his spots beautifully, mixing up his punches too. Like his punch variation has been great tonight.
We thought maybe the power of Redkach would make Jukembayev dig deep and use his entire arsenal. So far, that hasn't been the case.
But Redkach also hasn't been active as far as throwing punches either.
But, you know, he's going to the ropes on his own volition. He's not being forced there.
Almost like a sparring partner mentality. Yeah. His legs don't look great, to be honest.
No.
not throwing down. You got to catch and counter right away. If it touches you here, come up with that uppercut. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Let me see. Deep breath.
The advice to the corner, you're not countering off those shots. You're standing there taking them. And of course, Terrence Crawford, stablemate of Jukembayev. You said it, Paulie. Great to see him here at this event, man. Yeah. Fans love seeing him. Man's an absolute superstar in the sport.
Yeah, the fans love seeing him, but also, like I said, the stablemates feel really,
Let it go.
really appreciate a superstar like that coming to anything with his time. But he still comes to these smaller shows to support them. It's not something you see often from guys at that level.
He lives in the gym, and he helps train these guys too as well. I mean, he's never not in the gym. He spars everybody in the gym. He works everyone in the gym. Terrence Crawford lives the life.
He gives back to boxing. Yes. That's what makes him special.
Well, Paul Mac's the same way, man. It's the culture of that gym. They're more of like a family than just a gym. Well, even Bomac, he takes the ride to come, out here with his guys that are, only have a few fights.
That's something a lot of people don't know. They go, oh man, why doesn't everybody train at these big gyms with these big trainers? I said, it's hard to get attention from big trainers at big gyms. And right now, Jukembayev.
And Redkach just looks like an old warrior trying to just hold up on pride. There's not a lot left in this guy, man. He's not getting any punches off. He's trying to show his toughness. He's trying to say, hey, nah, you can't hurt me. But in reality, he also is not even capable of setting anything up to threaten Jukembayev with.
The balance isn't there. He's been getting hurt since round 1.
Yeah, and it's more like sparring partner, and it's not even sparring. It's like just heavy bag mentality. And the sparring partner mentality would be giving him too much credit at this point.
It's more like target practice than sparring right now.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not healthy either.
And the idea that Jukembayev is going to open up or give you something or make a mistake, he's not that kind of fighter.
No, he's super tight with his technique, his elbow position, his hand position, the way he throws his punches. There's zero fat on anything.
Yeah, and Jukembayev has timed that attempt at jabs from Redkach a few times now with the left hands over the top.
Even though there's not much or anything coming back at him, Jukembayev could just go for broke and get him out, but he's still being technical, still picking his shots.
Yeah, still varying downstairs and upstairs.
We reference it all the time, gentlemen, the Soviet style, right? Hands high, no mistakes, accurate with your punches.
And there you saw the balance of Redkach. He overthrew the left hand, fell forward, landed into an opposite stance, and then puts himself right back on the ropes.
You see right there, he's not even looking to punch back at Redkach.
No, he's just
look at the way his mentality is off those ropes. He's just trying to toughen up, and
he's basically just bracing for the artillery at this point.
Yep.
Maybe hoping Jukembayev gives him something,
shot.
But
Body shot.
a vicious body shot.
Yeah. And Redkach has been stopped to the body from ProBox before.
You saw him take a deep breath out after that left hook to the hurt him. Oh, and the right hook again.
And the target practice continues.
And he's tough, so he's going to try to withstand all this, but you got to really see if he's capable, if he's understanding that this isn't for.
Man, thudding shots right in front of us, combinations.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't need to see much more of this.
The fighter from Kazakhstan
he's
not backing off.
The legs are gone.
Referee looking real closely at this. End of the round, could say saved by the bell.
If you don't work this round, I'm gonna stop the fight. Okay? I don't need you to get hit for bullshit, okay? All right? You hear me? I need you. Okay. Hey, I need one round. If you give me something, I won't stop it. All right?
Redkach's corner man just told him, if you don't want this fight, I'm going to stop it. If I don't see something, I'm going to stop this fight.
Yeah, and he said he's going to give him one more round, so that's it. Let's see what he comes out with this round, but it doesn't look good. He's got a little bit of a nick on top of the right eye already.
And some swelling over, looks like the left eye. Jukembayev so far cannot miss. Redkach just has not thrown anything back. We talked about his natural power that has been a non-factor so far.
And even when
round number 4.
Even when he's showing a couple of jabs, Jukembayev has timed them very well with the left hand over the top.
But that's another thing. I mean, the punches coming from Redkach are slow, and Jukembayev seeing them coming. The balance is not there. He's falling off balance, stepping through on his punches.
You see just better legs on Jukembayev. You see the little spring on the steps, stepping in, stepping out, feinting with his feet. This is just a fresher fighter in the ring against a guy who just two-shot one.
And also, every time we've seen combinations from Jukembayev, and no gaps in there. Right? There's no fat on the punches, as you say, Chris. I mean, no wasted energy, no room to get back in.
No, just so precise. You know, he picks his punches so well. Finds the openings, stays sharp with the defense. You know, even when he loads up, it's, you know, they're tight.
The question at this point is, will Jukembayev sell out to get the finish? Will he be content to outbox Redkach, who once again complains about a foul? The referee is not buying it.
He's probably complained more than he has tried to win the fight at this point. You know, I don't know if he physically is capable of trying to win the fight. You see, again, not getting off any shots, the occasional jab. It's almost like that sparring partner mentality.
Waiting for the bell, gentlemen. We know it well.
Oh, good body shot again.
I mean, if Jukembayev doesn't end him here, the corner's not going to let him come out.
And they shouldn't. He's just not capable, guys. I mean,
it's not for not trying. You know,
he's hanging in there.
And he's not looking for a way out either. He just doesn't have it, like you said.
He has not given Jukembayev a reason to back off, and he has not throughout these 4 rounds. 1 minute left to go in round number 4. It's been a technical mismatch. There's been a wipeout for the fighter from Kazakhstan. Sparring with Terrence Crawford, who's right behind him in the red.
And you see that even that jab attempt from Redkach, how he fell forward. Like his legs aren't even holding him up. He's falling forward, even trying to throw a jab.
And I've seen this before, older fighters, and they just hang out on the ropes. They put themselves on the ropes. They lean against the ropes because they don't have to show their balance or how bad it is or the lack thereof.
This is one of those fights where you probably prefer it stopped, but you also prefer Redkach to hopefully not fight anymore after this.
Spirit may be willing, but the flesh is weak when it comes to Redkach so far in this fight. No offense to speak of as we end round number 4. Decision lies with the corner now.
Redkach walked back to his corner like he was 75 years old.
I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you. Right? I'm gonna stop you. Okay, it's not you, it's me. I stop the fight. Okay? I'm gonna stop the fight. Okay?
Your decision. I'm gonna stop it.
No, one more. Okay.
Just take it out of his hands.
All right, that's it. Okay. Listen. You have to show something right now. If not, that's it.
Let those fucking hands go, Ivan.
You don't let the hands go. That's it. I'm sorry.
You have to.
Come on. All right? You said one more.
Throw the fucking
show me something this fucking round. Right?
You got those. Come on. 3 punches.
It's like
By the referee as well.
His trainer said, you said one more. Okay, I'll give you one more. Redkach talked him into it. But I don't know if it's really even worth it. It's like almost like elementary. Is Redkach going to be? Redkach is trying to get on the front foot here, but I don't know if he has the ability to stay on it.
Also, do not expect the referee to be tolerant. Went into the corner. Was warning Redkach that he's on a short leash. Jukembayev in the blue, yellow, and red has pitched a shutout in this fight. Redkach in the white and gold has looked every bit the 38-year-old fighter has been through some wars.
And back on the ropes again.
And Jukembayev can do him a favor here and get him out, and especially if he finishes him to the body, so he doesn't take any more head damage. But listen, this is boxing.
The question is, will Jukembayev do that, knowing that maybe I can box it one more round, the corner's going to do it for me? That is the question.
Redkach tried a body shot there. So you saw that. You see,
speaking of balance, gentlemen,
when he tried a big shot, you see how he went off balance. Again, no legs. He tried to throw it. Now Jukembayev has him where he wants him again, which is against the ropes.
faith in him. He's getting the reactions. Yeah, it's just, like you said, Jen, it's elementary at this point.
Heavy bag work so far for Jukembayev.
And Redkach is really just hanging on pure pride, shaking his head every time Jukembayev lands a shot. But this is the epitome of a, you know, past his prime gladiator who doesn't have anything left but his pride.
And against a technician who knows how to turn over his punches, doesn't make very many mistakes, hasn't had any defensive lapses. This is not a fighter to grow old against.
Yeah, the best landed shot from Redkach tonight was actually a clash of heads 2 rounds ago. Other than that, I mean, offensively, there's been zilch.
Been more complaints to the referee than clean punches. Been pointing that out as well.
True.
Yeah, he threw one good body shot earlier this round. There's another left hand he attempted. Again, the way he backed up there doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, that right hook wobbled him, and it didn't even land that clean.
And that is it. No one big shot. Death of 1,000 cuts from Jukembayev.
Smart decision by the ref, honestly. That was merited, and his corner and the ref did give him a chance. You know, Redkach is a prideful guy, but really, it was all that was there was his pride. I mean, it was nothing else there to show that he belonged in the ring.
The referee could see what we could all see, which is that man, Batır Jukembayev, now moves to 23-1, was simply the technically superior fighter. Redkach in there, but not doing much more than standing there taking abuse.
No, it's just exactly what the champ Malinachi was saying. Like it's just pride. It's just trying to be in there. It's just, you know, the body wasn't willing anymore. So.
Great man once said, guts will take you so far, then they'll get you killed. Right. That's one of those things, we're standing up there too long.
Yeah, and that's why you have a corner, that's why you have a referee, and, you know, ringside doctor.
Corner put him on a short leash, said 1 more round, show me what you got, and unfortunately there was nothing in that round. The referee saw it, and this was one-sided from the beginning, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, it was all Jukembayev all night long. Redkach really didn't present much for him tonight. He didn't have a lot left. His legs were not there all night, and it was just target practice, basically hitting a heavy bag.
And Paulie, you were hoping that Redkach's power would kind of draw more out of Jukembayev. It was a non-factor. It was an easy work.
Yeah, Redkach known to have a little bit of pop in his punches, but, you know, it just didn't have the wherewithal, the energy, the legs to even set up a position to make it dangerous, you know? And Jukembayev honestly had him on the back foot the whole time. And as I said in the previous fight, a puncher on the back foot a lot of times is not the same kind of puncher anyway.
But your assessment of Jukembayev in a fight where he really wasn't pushed that much, I mean, look solid, look tactical.
Again, it's the same thing with Jukembayev. He's solid. You know, you wonder how far up the ladder you can take him. He's got a loss to Matias, who is the IBF champion. Right. So, you know, you got a loss to the elite of the weight class. There's nothing wrong there, and nothing else. You know, everything else is, you know, he's got a solid record, keeps winning. So it's almost going to be time to check him out against one of these elite guys that will be willing to take a chance on him or not.
There's his sparring partner, of course, Terrence Bud Crawford.
Yeah, and there's
pound for pound king, right?
And there's Yulusinov as well, the ex-2016 Olympic gold medalist, former world amateur champion, Asian Games champion in the amateurs, a standout amateur, and was at an undefeated pro record.
Wanted more out of Redkach, but it is what it is. Jim Sorensen makes it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes, 18 seconds in round number 5, referee Christopher Young stops this fight for your winner by technical knockout and a new WBA Continental North America Super Lightweight Champion, Batyrzhan Jukembayev.
Jukembayev victorious again. Chris, we say it all the time, you need the dance partner, right, to show what you got. The problem is he wants to be a contender in a very deep weight class, 140 pounds. He wants to be up amongst the elite, and tonight he didn't have a dance partner to have somebody go, oh, this guy could be the guy, or could be the partner, the opponent. What are your thoughts on it, gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping that Redkach was going to pull that out of him and show something, but it just, he didn't have it left. It wasn't in him anymore. So, you know, unfortunately, it is what it is. But I mean, Jukembayev moves on. You know, he's got a name on his record. He got a stoppage. So
I also think that, you know, it's the unknown, the fear of the unknown that keeps the elite guys from taking a chance on him. He's only lost to Matias, and he keeps looking solid in these fights, but there's nothing too spectacular. So it gives you a reason to kind of stay away from him and sort of observe him. But I don't see guys also looking, chomping at the bit to take this guy on either. And, you know, we won't really know if he's of that level until we'll see another chance to see him at that level.
One of the greatest all-time at 140 pounds, Aaron Hawk Pryor. You guys know him extremely well. One of the greatest, I think, underrated boxers of all time. But one of the greatest quotes I ever heard was, a dangerous fighter with meager earning power. There was nobody really wanted to take a risk on fighting Aaron Pryor at his best. Now, obviously, Jukembayev not that kind of puncher, but a similar thing. Paulie, we're like, he can make it look bad. He's dangerous, but
he can beat you. You know, he can beat you. And there's a lot of good fighters at 140 pounds. The problem with boxing is nobody wants to fight each other. And so, you know, that you would expect somebody like a Jukembayev to at least be able to assert himself among those, since those top guys don't really fight each other. We'll see. Or if they avoid him too, we'll see.
Now, Chris, the thing is, if you're Jukembayev, if you're his trainer, or if you're, you know, Terrence Crawford, you go, hey, he did what he needed to do. What do you want from him?
That was my point. I mean, yeah, he moves on. He got the win. He got the record, the name on his record. He moves forward, but he didn't do himself any favors for getting another fight, because, like you said, Jem, he's dangerous. He's very technical.
I'll use 140-pound division one fighter as an example. I mean, I think Liam Paro is getting a title shot at 140, right? I mean, I could see Jukembayev being at that level, maybe even better than Liam Paro. You know, it'd be an interesting fight head-to-head for sure.
Class. His skill set, no question.
So we'll see.
He looked sharp tonight. Good combinations, good defense, although he didn't really need it, but didn't have to dig that deep in order to get the win. But Jukembayev, technically sound, out of the Soviet model, incredible fighter. Will we see him again, see him get that opponent who will make him step up, not just in performance, but in entertainment value in order to become a contender? That is the burning question for Batır Jukembayev, but did what he needed to do. June 5th, that's right. Matias versus Schramm. Chris, 154 pounds. You are so, I saw your eyes light up when these names came up.
Well, we had Guido Schramm on our air before. He's very, very impressive. And Butayev, excuse me, is an excellent fighter. So this is another great matchup on ProBox TV, our main event.
Yeah, Russia versus Argentina. It's one of those things where we talked about the center of the boxing universe now has become Eastern Europe. So many fighters coming out, not just with the technique from the amateurs, not just fundamentally sound, but like this fighter from Kazakhstan, aggressive and right there in that contendership level. They're almost there.
And if you really look at it, Plant City here, where we have ProBox TV main events, worlds collide. We have tons of main events between guys from all over the world, including tonight.
And this time, and also we got to discuss, in case you miss it, the co-main event. Absolutely stunning. Brazil versus the United States. Incredible stuff from Lopez and Cardoza. Had to be a smock-worthy fight, right? Had to get out of the way of the blood.
That's gonna be a new saying for us here. Smock-worthy. Hashtag smock-worthy fight. But that was like a fight of the year type candidate. I mean, it was that good of a fight. Such a high level technique. Great conditioning shown by both men. Incredible grit, chin, you name it. This fight had it.
And I think if the fans at home know that we have a standard here, man. You know, maybe we don't hit it on the head every single time. The main event tonight left a little bit to be desired, but overall, man, you're going to get a lot of solid matchups, a lot of solid fights, and really exciting head-to-head fights stylistically when you tune into ProBox TV. And tonight, this fight really stole the show.
You know, matchmaking is kind of its own art. We always say in combat sports, can't make them fight, right? You put the guys together, it's based on the numbers, it's based on the history, you can't make them fight. What happens so much here at ProBox TV is we have the guys who make the fight, not just the numbers, not just the records, the guys who make the fight. These guys made a fight tonight, Chris.
Well, we're not building anyone. We're making good fights, and that's where the matchmakers really do their due diligence to get the right kinds of guys, and not just the right kinds of guys, the right kinds of guys that are going to match up well against each other to make exciting fights. It's not about getting this fight, oh, this is going to learn from this fight, oh, he's going to get better, he's going to get a win here. No, we're going to make a good fight, and that's what our matchmaking is special.
What was impressive about Cardoza to me is a power puncher who was busy, who was forced to work a lot, yet had gas for the later rounds. Paul, Paulie, did that impress you at all that he was able to fire the way he did rounds 9 and 10?
Yeah. You know what? Like I said, especially he's been dealing with visa issues for a year. You know, you come right back and throw him into this kind of fight. So I was surprised that later in the fight he was able to still have that energy. But you also notice he doesn't burn a lot of energy. You know, he's kind of really technical. Unfortunately, he doesn't burn it on defense either because he gets hit too much. But nonetheless, his punches are short, technical, and he doesn't really burn a lot of energy even in those exchanges. While Lopez was moving left to right, changing levels, fighting in his own style and made it fun, but he burned a lot of energy.
And Lopez, of course, he came here to fight. He came here to win. Disappointed with the result, but man, he's a fighter you want to see again.
Oh, absolutely. And I want him on our air again. I think he makes great fights. He's always in great fights. It's just the guy's allergic to bad fights. So bring him back. He's perfect for ProBox TV. And Cardoza, who we would have him back as well, but he might be taking a step up now with a win like that.
We will see, but he's a guy whose entertainment value is extremely high. Goes in, looks for the knockout, went the distance, but in an incredible performance. It was once again a great night of fights. Harris Jr. over Irwin, Cardoza over Lopez Jukembayev with a shutout for all of us behind the scenes here at ProBox TV. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.